Hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I'm turning my volume down
Yeah.
because there's kind of a joke that goes on that if we can catch somebody on their phone in a meeting, we try to call them on purpose and
Make their phone ring.
make their phone ring. But all right. I got a whole bunch of hellos.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of people here already.
Yeah, pretty cool. Okay. Eagle Lover, good evening. Hey, by the way, Eagle Lover, thank you for putting that link in there. I put the link to the Ungovernable channel in the description of this video. And then I also, at the top, you'll see the very first comment is by Ungovernable. And so I don't know if you click right out of the chat and go over there or not, but it's in there. But thank you, Eagle Lover, for that. Terminator, good evening to you. It's minus 45 where Terminator is.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. We had one of those days this year, and it was minus 41, and it was miserable.
It was awful.
Yes. Let me see what else we got here. Blockchain, thank you as always. Johnny, good evening to you. Hippocrates, good evening to you as well. Jake, how's it going on, buddy? Dog Creek Farm is here. Let me see here. Half Bubble Off Plum, greatest name on the internet. I know I always say that, but it just is. It's just the greatest
name. It just
name.
wouldn't be the same if you didn't.
Yep. Mary Michelle, good evening to you. New Day Farm, good evening. Silver Lining, hello, hello, my friend. Let me see here. Who else we got?
Coastal Redwood.
Okay. Coastal Redwood Homestead, hello, how are you? Good evening. Let me see here. RN made it. Ooh, my goodness, I just blew right by. RN made it. Good evening. Deborah, good evening. Mandy, how are you? Mandy says it's supposed to get down to 26 degrees tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had a high of 32 today. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Cul-de-sac.
It's going to be warmer next couple of days here.
Yeah, we're looking in the 50s, right?
Yes.
A couple days in the 50s. Yeah, super exciting.
That's like gardening weather.
Right. Richard, good evening. Easy, good evening. Ghetto. What's up, my friend?
Heidi.
Yep. Oh, did I miss one? Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Did you say milk and honey?
Yep, not yet. Rain Country, good evening to you. Heidi says, any colder and Terminator will no longer be liquid metal. That's great. That's great. I don't know. Can I pin that comment?
That's cute.
Okay, I'm going to pin Heidi. That comment just got pinned to the top. Yep.
She is quick.
That's actually awesome.
I love that.
Milk and Honey, good evening to you. Steel Roz, welcome back. Brent, hello. Milk and Honey, hello. I already said that right. Yep. Sorry. Steve, good evening to you. From Indiana. Jochi.
Isn't Brent, is that flower, right?
What's that?
Brent?
Oh, yes. That is. I didn't catch that. Good job. So Brent Davis up there, we've been talking to him, and he's got a really interesting story where he's harvesting flowers for municipal purposes. And I will totally embarrass myself if I try to explain it. So I won't do this. But what is it called?
Flow flower. Oh. Yeah.
I forget. Anyway, Brent, put it in here for us. Put a link in here because there's a lot of people in this live that it's right up their alley and would really be interested to hear more about you. I watched 3 of his videos earlier this week, just trying to get myself up to speed. And I'm not anywhere at a point where I can intelligently talk about it. Yep, the Floor Alive.
Yes.
Yeah, she was looking at that. Floor Alive. Yep, super cool. Indiana Mike is in the house. Evie, hello.
Ahoy.
Ahoy, Indiana Mike. The Rickster, never fear, I am here.
Is that what he said?
Yeah. Teresa, good evening to you. Coraline, welcome. Hey, I seen up here in a comment earlier before we went live where Johnny does leather work. And, as a side hustle and those kind of things. And Johnny, I'd like to do some business with you if you make me a belt or something.
Yeah.
But let's do business with our community, guys. And I just learned tonight that Johnny does leather work. So if any of you guys in the chat tonight or at any time in the chat have any kind of business or any kind of thing you guys are doing, if you let me know about it, then I will absolutely try to pump it out there and make sure that everybody knows, that there's business to be had. Tamara, good evening to you. Okay, so what's our first item on the list? Oh, they're not here. I haven't seen them yet, so I'm going to skip that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So coming out this next week, we have I go through the UGS calculator, and I think it comes out on Sunday this week.
Okay.
I believe so. And now I've already posted it on the Ungovernable channel, which we were talking about earlier. Yeah, and hypocrisy. I'm going to answer your question here in just a second because I've been eating it on the side right over here. You guys will laugh at it, but it was pretty cool. Can't hear y'all. We're driving. We'll have to catch y'all when we get home. All right, Corley, we'll drive safe.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, there she is right there. Okay, so we'll get to that. Gypsy 19. Hello, and good evening to you. So anyway, so over on the Ungovernable channel, I already posted the calculator for the UGS. I don't know how to post a spreadsheet where you guys can pull it off of my video. So if anybody's interested in it, you guys can email me, tagandb@lifedonefree.com, and I'll be happy to send it to you. And then later in the week, B has your stove video coming out, right?
Okay. I
Yep.
don't know when you schedule things for,
Yeah.
so I know I did a video.
Yeah, so she did a video basically just walking around her Kitchen Queen Grand Comfort 750 stove and what do all the levers do? How does it all work? How does she control the temperature? So to
Just basics.
right. So to Hippocrates' question, who says, "Hey, big kid, how are you? Ain't right acres. Hello, good evening to you." So Hippocrates asked me, what was the dessert of the week?
The dessert of the week.
But it's bigger than this. It's not just the dessert of the week, right?
It's the dessert of every week. It's the food group of every week.
Okay, so first, before we get to what we had for dessert, what do we have for dinner tonight?
I had made.
What do we all have? Because we all had the same thing.
Well, I had made
Okay.
Stuffed butternut squash.
Yep.
The bell part. I took the bell part, the bottom
Mhm.
where the seeds are, and I cut them and stuffed them with garlic and hamburger
Mhm.
and bell peppers and I had gotten some dill from Tabletop Farms, some
Mhm. Yep.
microgreens, dill microgreens. So I mixed all that together, a little bit of pepper, and stuffed the bell part of the butternut squash.
Yeah.
But the top part, the part that was not where the seeds are, you know how they're shaped straight and then there's like a bell at the bottom. The straight part I took and I chopped up and I roasted, and I did something totally different with them today.
So I've been eating squash cake.
Cake! Cake! I found a way he would eat it without complaining.
No, so let me.
You haven't complained yet. Yeah, I see you taking a couple bites. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, hold on, I missed. Hey, Rod. Good evening to you, bud. I just didn't want to miss you as we get up in there. Anyway, so the cake was good, but what really, like as Heidi says, whoa, what a surprise you had squash. So I had squash for dinner and dessert.
But it doesn't taste like squash. I was eating and I looked up just in time to see him slip a big old chunk of his squash to the dog. And he said, I ate most of it.
Yeah. Johnny's funny. Johnny says squash cake. That's just wrong on so many levels. Me and Johnny.
Can you tell that it's squash? It tastes like pumpkin-y kind of ish.
No, it tastes like squash.
It does not.
It tastes like squash cake. I know. I just haven't tried it enough to get the flavor of pumpkin.
I bet if you didn't see me make it, you wouldn't have known.
Anyway, Horse Range Mountain Farm is a good channel. Hello, good evening to you. Love the cake idea with squash. It actually is pretty decent. Wasn't horrible. It was much better than the squash I had at dinner.
I liked the dinner squash. Come on. And I put walnuts in it and some maple syrup and some honey, like real maple syrup, not like, pancake maple syrup. That's not maple syrup.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Tambra says it was kind of like zucchini bread. No, it was like squash cake. It tastes like squash.
I was going to make muffins, but I couldn't find my muffin tins. I couldn't. They were somewhere.
Sweet Savvy Words, good evening to you. Sweet Savvy Words, no B, do you ever stuff squash with shrimp and breadcrumbs, lots of spices?
You won't eat shrimp.
I'm not a big shrimp fan. I'll eat it, but I'm just not a huge fan.
That sounds good to me, though. I would eat that.
Starla says, late again, I was watching Bee in her tomato garden with the lady from Buffalo Seed and you and Danny.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah. You're here right on time. Next, Bee will make mashed tater pie. Right. Right. I don't need any more encouragement from the crowd that I need to eat more squash.
I do still have potatoes from my harvest.
Yeah. Cul-de-sacs. I just now got the notification on my phone. There's a delay tonight. Whereas actually, I'm going to talk about that a little bit tonight. There's some stuff going on, behind the scenes that you guys should probably be aware about. I have some amazing connections. I'll share some of that tonight as we go on, but there is some stuff going on with that. Tag, you get squash panca pertu. What's that? I don't know what that is. I might. Not corn syrup with fake maple flavoring. Haha.
No.
Yeah, no.
Corn syrup.
Yeah, corn syrup. Yep. ACM, good evening to you. Sharon Stock, hello from Snorri, Wyoming. You know, Sharon, my family comes from Wyoming. Yep. My family comes from a little town south of Laramie called Tie Siding. My grandpa owned that town for a long time. Dig a little faster, Tag. You keep getting in deeper. Yeah, that's typical of me, though, right, big kid? I mean, right? Squash cake with raspberries with shaved chocolate and vanilla whipped cream is my favorite. You can even use squash mousse in place of squash cake.
I was almost going to make squash like creme brulee. And then I thought, I probably will save that one for when you can't see what I'm doing.
Yeah, squash cobbler, squash gnome for Tag. Yeah, guys, by the way, the gnome thing on Grumpy Acres was hilarious.
Oh, did you hear her blame me?
No.
She said Bethany.
Yeah, no, but that was hilarious. There was so many squash comments. I mean, gnome comments. Like, she gets gnomes, I get squash, apparently. But absolutely amazing. Does it have anything to do with the balloons floating over Kansas City? Yeah, actually, I don't know that it's connected, but I think it's certainly interesting that it was going on at the same time. I'm going to talk about that a little bit too. I did a bunch of reading up on that. I actually had somebody at the, how do I say this? I had somebody in government text messaging me all day today. So it was pretty interesting. Let me see here. Yes, Tag, it's getting a little crazy. Yeah, it's beyond crazy. Going to be in the low 20s here in the northern Georgia mountains. Yeah, and Horse Range Mountain Farms, from what I understand, that balloon they're talking about will be hitting Georgia about right now. At least based upon the information I've received. Oh my gosh, I want cake so bad. Yeah, it was good. Fried squash. So Sweet Savory Word. That's all up Bee's alley.
I thought of slicing it and frying it like I do with the zucchini. But
yeah. Rickster says the Yoda gnome is real. Miley, good evening to you. Let me see. Dutch Sense just posted a video saying the balloon was spotted over St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah. I watched it on the satellite, and unless they were, faking the satellite, it showed it. The last time that I looked at it an hour or so ago, it would have been over like Kentucky or over that area. But again, I get the same information you guys get, right? So who knows?
So it's like headed west through over the United States.
It was headed east, and so it came down through Canada and
headed
and crossed Kansas and went over Missouri and all of those.
So it's got a ways
to
go.
Yeah. But I was, like I said, the satellite that I watched just before this live, about an hour before, put it over Kentucky. And its path, now it was changing kind of directions, but if it stayed straight on its path, it would hit Savannah, Georgia, is what I seen. The crazy thing, I saw the stories and I was like, I'm so sick of all this. I don't care. Not realizing that it was over me at the time. I was clueless. Yeah. Yeah, I actually called some of my buddies today when it was over Kansas to make sure that they knew. And interestingly enough, almost none of them knew.
How high up was it? Could you see it?
Yeah. Okay, so we're on it. So let's just talk about it. Okay, so it was flying at about 66,000 feet which is 12 and a half miles.
Okay.
Okay, so it was flying 12 and a half miles up for most of its course. When it got over what I was shown to be Kentucky, it was traveling at 69,000.
And it was like a blimp.
Feet. Yeah, so that's about 13 miles up. It's a balloon with three, about the size of 3 buses, and I found out all kinds of interesting things about it. So it's powered by solar, so it can be pretty much go infinitely. But it has, this is what I found interesting. It has a cargo payload of 1.5 tons. And so that means, basically what that means is it could carry 1.5 tons.
So it'd have to have batteries on it in order for it to,
Solar.
if it's solar. there's no sun right now.
Yeah, right now there's no sun. So they have something on it, I would imagine. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, Heidi says but it was just an accident. Yeah, and they're saying that, and there's a whole bunch of weird stuff going on. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys know, but they talked about why they weren't going to shoot it down. Which, guys, we could shoot it down so easy in seconds, right? No problem. But they don't want to do it. It's a GNOME drone. Yeah, it says Indiana. So Mandy, they spotted what they're calling a Chinese spy balloon, the size of 3 buses, that was flying at 66,000 square feet, and it penetrated American airspace and has now flown all the way across the United States of America. And basically, we've done nothing about it. Hilltop, hello, good evening to you. Faith, hello, good evening to you. Says in my town, supposedly only 20K. Then today, they started saying 60K. I couldn't see it, so it had to have been up there a little bit. Hey, Spags, what's up, buddy? So what I find, there's a couple things I find super fascinating. So one, they said they weren't going to shoot it down because they didn't want the pieces and parts to fall on the populace and hurt somebody.
Okay, that makes sense.
But the fact of the matter is, the Pentagon today said that they had been tracking it for several days. And so what that means is they knew it when it was crossing the ocean.
Yeah, they could have done it when it was
at any
wet.
time. Furthermore, it crossed over Petroleum County, Montana. Petroleum County, Montana is the least populated county in the Union of the lower 48 states, not to include Alaska. And so they had opportunity right there. Once it entered U.S. space, they could have done something about it too. So I think what we really have to ask ourselves is, why did they not shoot it down? Mm-hmm. A very, very wise person once told me, if it doesn't make sense, it's because you don't know the motive.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think we have to question what the motive is. Easy video over St. Louis Arch a couple of hours ago. Yeah, interesting. And that may make sense. I don't know how long it would take to get from the Arch of St. Louis, which basically is right there by Illinois, down into Kentucky. But that timeline would add up, Faith, to me. Hippocrates says basically a high altitude weather balloon, not rare, with likely military payload. It needs captured, not shot down. Inspect the payload. So, that makes some sense if they could figure out how to capture it, right, and to bring it down. But I'm telling you that it doesn't. The narrative that they're saying, basically, all I'm saying is it just doesn't. It just not.
How do they know where it came from? How do they know who it belongs to?
I don't know. The Pentagon. When I was watching Fox News and the Pentagon, even though I'm not a big Fox fan, and I was watching MonkeyWorks. For those of you guys who have never been on MonkeyWorks is basically a YouTube channel, and all it does is track military flights. That's all it does. And so it'll tell you how many refuelers are in the air. So basically, it's just tracking the sky all the time. And I think it's interesting because you can't believe anything we're being told, that you can actually see some of the flights and some of those kind of things. And to me, that's super fascinating. But Drummondson Live, good evening to you. China is taking an aerial view of their new country. Yeah, we could have a big debate about that, actually. I've got I have some, I don't know if I want to call it beliefs, but I have theories on that. It takes a hot air balloon to capture a hot air balloon. Yeah, how do you capture it whole, right? I mean, you can blow it up, sure. New Day Farm says, I love MonkeyWorks. Yeah, so does Kolsak. I watch them all the time. If I'm curious about what's going on, if you look at the military flight path around this balloon, it's just a series of circles. They've been circling this thing as it's crossed, across the United States. But yeah, MonkeyWorks is good. Jules says, good evening, by the way. Jules says she's been following MonkeyWorks for years. Yeah, he is awesome. Yeah, I really enjoy it. There's a handful of channels I watch religiously. And MonkeyWorks would be in there in reference to
when you're looking for something.
When I'm looking for stuff like that. Yeah. But anyway, so I find that interesting. But another thing that I find interesting about the whole bubble or balloon thing that's flying, across our country is, did you guys know that today they had 3 times the amount of normal cyber attacks on our country today?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was watching this earlier today, and we were getting hit. But apparently there's like 30 million attempted attacks every day.
Wow.
And at like 11 o'clock this morning, there was 45 million. And so it ended the day over 90 million attacks incoming that could be on our country. So I don't know that it's tied to the balloon. Right. I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the know like that, but I certainly find it fascinating that a Chinese, and according to the Pentagon, they said it was a spy balloon. So whether you believe them or not, who knows? But
right.
I find that interesting, also tied into the cyber attacks. Another interesting thing that I found about this. Hey, Alabama, how are you? We could escort it with helicopters or jets and blow it where we want it, couldn't we? Of course we could. They could have knocked it out of the sky long before it hit the United States. You know, they, under their own words today in the press conference, said they've been tracking it for several days. So basically, it flew across most of the United States today. So if they said, so let's just do the math. If it flew across the United States today, and this morning at 9:30 or whatever time it was when that press conference came on, they said they've been tracking it for several days, that would put that balloon out by Hawaii somewhere, right? I mean, it would put it out there a ways. So it just doesn't make sense.
Well, it depends on the speed in which it was going. You don't know, if it's just going with the
jet stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they said that it's steerable. So they can navigate, it can fly its own path, and it's changed directions several times.
So somebody's controlling it.
Somebody is controlling it. Who, what? It could be us. America could be doing it.
Right.
Yeah, Cul-de-sac says, I was really upset when I realized it went over this morning. I had been on my bank website around the time it was over us, and it just made me sick to think about it. Yeah, the real question is what happens with the balloon reaches the edge of the flat earth? Right, Johnny, right. Great question. What are they distracting us from, says Ghetto, plastering this all over the news? Yeah, I think that's an equal question, because they could just as easily have put that balloon up there, right? Spag says perhaps the Chinese have an administration in place here that allows their tech to coast over for free under the guise of public safety.
Public safety.
I buy that as much as any other theory I've heard. Very hard to know what's what. There is a beleaguered guy on, by the name of Brendan Lee O'Connell that has some stuff on YouTube. Yeah, MonkeyWorks talked about it today. Some of the news channels talked about it today. And then I just started digging in. When they said what it was, the model, I read it. I went and did a little digging and tried to figure it out. What I think so fascinating about this, and I think what we got to be careful about right here, is so Canada said today that they were tracking a second one. And the United States denied this and said, no, it's not true. We're going to have to consult the Canadians. But here's the thing. The maximum altitude of a balloon like this is 200,000 feet. Okay, so that puts, if I do my math correctly, so 66,000 square feet is 12 miles. Okay, so you're up about 40 miles, right?
Okay.
So if you were up 40 miles, you could really cause havoc with an electromagnetic pulse. And MSN today came out with an article that talked about this is the perfect EMP delivery weapon. And whether they're running a dry run and whatever it was, I actually had someone who worked at the government who texted me, this is a dry run. And so I would be a little concerned that we have leadership that allowed, if this balloon is truly Chinese, right? Because it could also be how they slip in a law behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
If it's truly Chinese, and if it's really a spy satellite, and if it's really the one they told me it was, which allowed me to Google it, that is not good.
Right.
I mean, that's just simply not good.
And then if they are denying a second one.
And they are denying it.
Then.
Well, he didn't deny it. He didn't say no. He said, we are only tracking one. You'll have to talk to Canada. So he didn't really say they weren't aware of it. What he said is we are only tracking one. So. Do
you know, does the higher up, if it was the EMP type of device, the higher up it goes, the farther out it reaches?
Yes. So babe, think of it like this. So, if you had
I know not everybody would be affected, right?
Yeah. So if you had, this is the earth, right? And you had,
it's flat.
It's okay. It's flat earth, right? This is for Johnny, this is for you. This was the earth, and it wasn't up very tall. The angle, when it exploded, right? The triangle would be smaller versus if you did it up here, it'd be a much bigger one.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. Yeah. So the EMP commission, who, done a bunch of studies, guys, I know a lot about this. I am very up to speed on EMPs. So the EMP commission had a graph, and what they talked about is
Fox News just sent a notification that Pentagon just confirmed the second.
Oh, Charles, thank you. So the Pentagon apparently just confirmed the second balloon. Yeah, but you heard it here first. Anyway, yeah, no, don't. Anyway, so the EMP commission did a big study, and in there they talked about if you could get a EMP up to 300 miles above Kansas, a medium size, that it would knock out the electronics grid and from southern Canada to northern Mexico and coast to coast.
Oh, geez.
In one. But here's the thing is
Okay.
that they may not want to, you know,
Yeah.
you may not want to do it in one.
Yeah.
It might be better off. Like what I'll be interested to know right here is, does the second balloon track west? Right? Because you want to shut America down. You don't have to do the whole thing. You know, you could take a good hit on either the east or the west coast, and it would cause massive, massive problems. I mean, it would be, you know, absolute chaotic. If people don't understand that, most people don't understand that in the event of an EMP, you won't see it, feel it, nothing. You'll never even know it happened, except nothing will work.
Right.
And that's not the problem. There's no radiation. There's none of those things that are going to hurt you. What's going to happen is when nothing runs and people start dying and our just-in-time inventory system, and you can't resupply, and it's those things that are going to cause the problem.
Right.
You know, in the first 5 or 6 minutes, you'll have 200,000 or 300,000 people dead, and that's only because that's how many airplanes are in the air, right? So anyway, I've missed so many comments.
What was that beep? Did I push something?
Ooh, wait a second. Spag says there was an explosion over Billings, Montana, apparently 24 minutes ago.
Oh.
Which this is where the other one came
we have
in.
People in Montana, right?
Oh yeah, there's people in here from everywhere. Guys, if I missed what you said and it's important, put it back in here and put it in caps or whatever it is, and I'll do my best. This is a super important topic. And, you know, we could talk a lot about how to protect ourselves from EMPs, how to protect ourselves from this. But I believe that and I'm going to get totally out here real quick. I'll make it quick. I'm sorry. So if you guys look at China and Russia's population, okay, they have an inverted triangle. And what that means is that they're running out of people under 20, under 40, right? And the mass of their population is at the top.
Right.
And this happens to a lot of countries.
Older.
Germany's dealing with it right now. And so they're never going to be able to keep up with what they've got. Russia and China are dying from a population perspective. Okay, so they do not have the capacity together to come invade the United States of America. I don't see any way possible we will see a conventional, you know, tank type war here in the United States. But all of them could say, hey, you know what, we're declining. We're going to have some trouble. Let's knock America down. This is where an EMP comes in, because you can do that, right? They have the capacity to do that
from afar.
Yes. And so, oh my goodness, I've missed so many. Yeah. And Johnny, Japan is dealing with it too. Actually, a lot of countries are dealing with it. Brazil is dealing with it. America's actually in pretty good shape. We have some of that. And we're going to go through this here with Generation X after the boomers as they're retiring now. But by the time we get to when the millennials kids begin to enter the workforce, this kind of starts to turn around for the United States as I understand it. Coastal Redwood says there's been an explosion in the sky in Billings, Montana. Yeah, I would love to know more. If you guys know any more, I mean, I would love to know anything you could get me on. After this, I'll research it, but it could happen after the draft, all the young men and women. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the problem is there's not many of them anymore in a lot of those countries. And, you know, China could amass a lot of troops, but the fact of the matter is, you know, and I don't want to misquote this, but there's, 16 supercarriers in the world, and the United States runs 13 of them. Right. 95% of China's fuel is imported. And it comes through a particular area, 3 battleships in that area, and you'd put China in big trouble, right? I mean, they have all the tanks and they want it. They can't start them. It doesn't matter. If California goes offline, that would be bad. Oh, it would be catastrophic for California to go offline, or East or West Coast, either one of them. I mean, it'd be catastrophic if it was just in the Midwest, but unfortunate thing is we can handle it better in the Midwest from an economic perspective. 4 minutes ago, there's another report of another balloon over Latin America. Ooh, yeah, something weird. Yeah. So is the damn balloon still in Montana or in the Midwest, Mid-South? Well, Faith, the original one, from what I seen on the satellites, was over Kentucky an hour ago and headed towards Georgia, is what I seen. Then Canada had reported that they found another balloon. America didn't deny it, but said they're not tracking it. And now it looks like there's a third. So there is something going on. I don't know what it is, but Hippocrates says 99 Luft balloons. Sing it with me.
Right.
Yeah. Coastal Redwood Farm says just posted on freestanding. Fabulous, fabulous. Steve Hall says I'm spending now till May storing up and building infrastructure. It's past due and vital. Should have done it last year. This balloon crap is one reason why I woke the sun up till sundown work sun up to sundown. Steve,
Yeah.
You're doing it right, bud. You're doing it right. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. You guys, infrastructure, 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 assets, assets, assets. I'm telling you, it's the way you get out of so many of these problems. But this is kind of spooky. But why would the big C send something so visible from the ground? Are they testing our reactions to these events? Yeah, very well could be, assuming that China actually did it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think that's still to be, kind of determined. China, I heard but again, was this manipulated? I seen a report from China that talked about how it was a private balloon, and it came from China, but it was a private balloon. But that could have been written up by anybody as well, right?
Right.
Rod says, have to jump off, guys, and find the thermometer. I think Nancy is running a fever. Hey,
Uh-oh.
Rod, you take care of your family. No, nothing more important than that, right? Nothing more important than that. So anyway, guys, the whole cyber attack, the balloons thing.
Little unsettling.
Yeah, very unsettling. Odd thing is cyber attacks were discussed at a meeting in Davos last. Of course they were. Still, Roz is talking about in the Davos meetings that they had. They were talking about cyber attacks. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure that what's going to happen is the powers that be are going to remove the dollar because they need to protect us from cyber attacks or terrorism or something. Like they're going to, never let a good crisis go to waste, as they once said.
Yes, I've heard
Right?
that.
And they did this to us on the gold standard already once, right? They're going to repeat the same playbook. I don't know if you've noticed, but the government likes to do that.
Yeah.
They find they have some solution and they repeat it.
Hoping that we forget.
Yeah. Yeah. Amy B, I'm right on time. Hey, everybody. Hey, Amy, how are you? Sharon says, I planted cold weather crops in the greenhouse today. Made me so happy. Yeah. Jules says, private balloon, except now there are 3. I don't buy it. I don't buy it either. Guys, there's something going on. And, it's crazy at 40 miles in the atmosphere. You would cause serious damage. I mean, an EMP at 40 miles would wipe out 6 or 7 states.
Yeah.
It's not as high to do the whole state, but if you just wanted to take out some of the infrastructure, we have 3 grids in our country. I don't know if everybody knows this or not.
No.
We have an East Coast grid, a West Coast grid, and the Texas grid, because people in Texas do things according to their own thing. So Texas has its own grid. Everybody else is either on the East Coast or the West Coast grid. And so 2 small EMPs at 40 miles in the atmosphere, one above California or whatever, Nevada, whatever it is, and one on the East Coast would put us to our knees. Would absolutely put us to our knees. By the way, can someone give me information on aquaculture? I have a 40 gallon per minute gravity feed water that can supply tanks. Hope to grow yellow perch and crappie. Hey, Brent, bud, go to Jack Spirko. Look up him on YouTube because he does a lot of aquaponics, and he might be a really good source for you. When we were at the Self-Reliance Festival last year, I spoke down there. They had an aquaponic system running too that was pretty interesting, and that would be SOE, Special Operations Equipment, in Tennessee has one too. You could look up some of their channels.
John has one. Has aquaponics.
They're saying they saw a jet fly by very fast and explode. Ooh, I'd love to know more. Starla, tell me more. Tell me more. You need a lake to grow crappie. They will take over. Yeah. Yeah, Parker said I was going to say Spirko. Yeah, that's what I would say. So, did a sea trail plane fly around it? Yeah, I didn't see about any chemtrails around it, Miley. What I seen is there was a bunch of big jets, surveillance jets, and what the military was saying is that they were jamming it, so it couldn't take pictures and it couldn't transmit. Whether that worked or not, I don't have any idea. But the flight patterns from MonkeyWorks was super interesting. Rickster says Fox News. Yeah. Saw a strange object last night that looked like a hot air balloon that was rising. I am in Virginia. This was before I heard about any of this. Yeah, and that's the problem. Yeah, Jack Spirko, the survivalist, Brett. That's correct. He's got one. He'd be a really good resource. That's the problem. I don't know what's real anymore.
Right.
I mean, that's the hardest part of all of this. That's why you got to find your own sources and find your own, kind of credibility.
Yoke up. Get out and just.
Yeah. Yeah, if I wasn't on the live Coastal, I would go watch that video because I am super interested. Hey, Grumpy Acres, what's up? How are you? Hey, really nice floor in your pantry, by the way. Looked great. Yep, he's here. Good. Hey, I wanted to share something with you guys since we talked about doom and gloom. I want to share some really cool stuff with you guys. I was on I've been doing a lot of stuff lately.
Yep.
And I had a conversation today. I actually had two with two different YouTube channels, other creators, but one in particular that I was talking to today about community. And they had made the comment that they didn't understand how I did it, but that we had the best crew on YouTube. And he's referring to you guys, the audience. And I thought that was just.
We do have a good crew.
I thought that was just. I mean, I'm just this little channel, you know. I mean, and this channel.
I know, but we got the best people.
Yeah, and this channel has 270,000 subscribers or 290,000 subscribers, and I just thought it was interesting that they said that as far as people being involved in us,
Mm-hmm.
that you guys rocked, and I just thought I'd share that with you guys and thank you. I don't mean I mean you guys, not me, but yeah, crazy. An eyewitness filmed it. Looked as if the jet exploded mid-air. Just watch the video. Yeah. So when you say a jet, can you be a little more specific? Are you talking about like a military jet, an F-18, an F-16, an F-35, something like that? Or are you talking about like a passenger jet?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Pope Reef Life. I thought it was cool. I didn't really know what to say, Spag said, I texted you the video of Billings from Fox News. Yeah, thank you. I'll watch it when we get done here. Let me see. We tested the breakout rooms last night on Zoom. Seemed to work fine. Another feature we can use if the audience grows. Yeah, Yeah. Hippocrates, by the way, I wanted to apologize. I didn't make it last night. I'm going to tell you why here in just a little bit, but I do intend to make it as often as I can. Just a jet. Can't tell which one. Okay. Yeah, craziness. But anyway, so I want to get off the doom and gloom stuff because I can't make sense of it other than to just tell you guys what I hear, and so before I get on this though, the last words, guys, is get your own stuff in order. Don't be dependent on somebody else. Just get as much together as you can for yourself. And you can give me all these words about, hey, I don't have the money or whatever it is. Do what you can do. And let me tell you something else about the UGS score. When I was doing the UGS score myself, I weighted community the heaviest weighted of all the categories. There's 10 categories in there. And I did that because with community, you can hide a lot of the weaknesses in every other section.
Yeah.
If you're not 100% on food, a community will help you get better. If you're not 100% on energy, a community will help you get better. And so for me, on my own personally, when I did the UGS score, I weighted community at 25% of the total goal and out of 10 categories. So now I had to divide 75 between all the rest of the 9 categories.
Wow.
Yeah, I just think it's that important.
Yeah.
And so
community brings so much.
It just brings so much. So yoke up, take responsibility, right? I mean, this is just so important that we do this and we do this now. And so, because the world's weird. We just watched a Chinese, supposedly, surveillance balloon track across the entire United States of America to include the nuclear fields in South Dakota.
And we did nothing about it.
A second one has been spotted in Canada. I don't know where it is today. And apparently now a third one. This is insanity. You got to get your stuff in order and get it in order today. Anyway, okay. So let me get back up here. I have missed so many and I so totally apologize. Okay. There's always something people can find to cut and take that money and put it into what one needs most. Amen.
Yeah. Priorities.
Yeah. Maureen, we have a person, Jake, who's in this chat, or at least was in the chat earlier today, who went from, all kinds of debt, bankruptcy, divorce, and 13 years later owns his homestead free and clear of 100 acres. And he's out there living free every single day. It can absolutely be done. You just got to be committed to it more than you're committed to anything else. And if you'll do it, you'll get there.
Yeah.
Cul-de-sac says, my daughter joined freesteading. Hey, rock on. Happy Free Day, blockchain.
Whoop,
Yep.
whoop.
Hey, LJC is here. Good evening to you. Yep, we miss you. I'll see you soon. Ghetto says the explosion was huge. Oh, I need to watch it. Man. Hey, Maytag is in the house. He said he's cleaning up after a 5-hour afternoon range trip. Good for you.
Wow.
Yep, one was spotted over Missouri, Carolyn Smith says. Yeah, something's weird. B and Tag will try to find a time for a video call. Lots of good info that fills us with dynamic positive energy. Flora Live abolishes implanted thoughts that are meant to hold us down. Yeah, so Flora Live, you guys, there's a YouTube channel out there, but this guy's a doctor, and he's been spent the last and Brent, if I say it wrong, just correct me. You're not going to hurt my feelings at all. But spent 25 years, the last 25 years of his life trying to take the essence out of a flower that we can use for, did I say that right?
Healing purposes.
Yeah, healing purposes. Again, I don't want to butcher it, Brent. I am not a doctor, and I don't want to make anything seem as if it's not. So feel free to correct me. But I'm interested in learning more. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But hey, Chris, what's going on? Let me see here. So cool. Got to go now. God bless. Brent, good night, evening. If anyone has family in Billings, contact them and see if they still have power. Oh, great idea.
Oh.
Great idea. Anybody have anybody up in Billings? Dave Ramsey has a great program for getting out of debt. Yeah, you know what? If it takes a Horse Range Mountain Farm, if it takes Dave Ramsey to help somebody get out of debt, I am 100% for it. But the fact of the matter is, all you have to do is be committed to do it. You need to be you need to want to get out of that debt more than you want the new refrigerator. You got to want to get out of debt more than you want to go to Starbucks. That's just what it is, or travel, or whatever it is. It's
Right.
it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Let me see, Johnny. If I can make shit happen on $935 a month income, I don't want to hear anyone's excuses. Yeah, Jules, I'm going to tell you something. This has been something I've had to learn over the years, which is everybody's at a different place in their journey. And there are people right now who haven't even started their journey,
Mm-hmm.
but we can encourage them to help them start their journey and help them think differently. And so like when I get into conversations with, Biden loving liberals, I always tell myself, hey, these people are just not that far in their journey, and I'm going to do my best to encourage them as they travel their journey. And I think if we can all do that, I think the world becomes a better place.
And everybody starts somewhere.
Things are much worse than people realize. I think a lot of people have waited too long and will have a hard time surviving. I know. Hey, Brett says, good explanation. These are quantum frequencies that shift our point of view. Yeah, thanks for your support. Oh, of course. I know I have an uncle in Montana, but I don't remember where. Okay. Silver lining, you bring out the best in us. You guys bring out the best in me. I'm telling you, I was shocked when that, creator told me that. Live outage map for Northwest Energy doesn't show any outages. Okay, cool. Hippocrates, you are quite the hand. You know that? You really are.
Yeah.
You really, really are. Hey, Tabletop Farms is here.
Hey.
Hey, so I want to talk about Tabletop Farms, but before we do, I have something that's super important that we do today.
Super, super, super important.
I mean, super.
Like the most important.
The most important. The most important thing we're going to do all night long is right here. You guys ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a couple that we've become very fond of, and Miss Gypsy's birthday is tonight.
From His Grace Farm.
Yep. Say it again.
His Grace Farm.
Yep. To make sure everybody got it. And we have chatted a lot. They're on all of the Zoom calls, and they're in here all of the time. And when Bee's birthday, they were the ones that set the video with the cow. I don't know if you guys watched that or not. To Bee, and so I'm going to take a moment. Because I don't know if you guys know this, I was once a former opera singer. No, I wasn't. But yeah, that's a scam, huh? And so we want to, and if everybody will do this with me, even though I know she can't hear it, everybody, let's sing happy birthday to Gypsy. And she's important, and she is another year wiser, and she makes all of us better. You want to?
Yep.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gypsy. Happy birthday to you, and many more. Okay. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, New Day is going to be 60 in 5 days. So we're going to sing to you next week, New Day.
Yep.
Oh boy, it's just blowing by now. Okay, I got to write down, or I'll forget New Day. New Day, B-Day.
60. That's a big milestone.
Yeah. Yeah.
How wonderful.
Yeah, how wonderful. So we talked about community, right?
Yes.
And so I spent yesterday, this is why I didn't make it to the Zoom call on Thursday. So I drove over to Missouri to Tabletop Farms, and we got to spend some time in their community. over there. And I got to speak to all of them about, starving the beast and about community and about all of these things. And so first, what I want to do is just say thank you to Tabletop Farms for inviting me to come over. And it was super empowering for me to see them. Referring to Tabletop, trying to engage this community and trying to push it along. And guys, building a community, it's like herding cats a lot of times.
Yeah.
And it just is hard, but to watch them kind of go through that was just really empowering to me. And so I just want to tell them thank you for doing their part. And you guys, these guys are like-minded. Go to Tabletop Farms' website, buy produce from them. We ate their produce tonight.
Yes, we did.
And it was by far the best part of my dinner. No, I'm just kidding. And so it was empowering to me. It was encouraging to me. And then when I left there, so it was probably 9 o'clock by the time I got done. Something like that.
You didn't get home till late.
Midnight. Yeah, I got home midnight, but it was a little after 9. And so I tried to jump on the Zoom on my cell phone, and I was just going to listen as I drove home,
In the
dark, but I just couldn't get it on my phone. So that's why
your phone service was bad.
Yeah. So I just didn't get it, but that's why I wasn't available. And Tabletop, Hippocrates, thank you. Tabletop does their live Monday at 7 p.m.
Yes.
And, guys, they're doing it. I mean, seriously, they're doing it.
Yeah.
We
had microgreens tonight.
And they were delicious.
And I have not ever had microgreens. Want to try? I want to do some.
Yeah.
But we had dill and radish and oh man, what was the other one? I forgot. Would you remember what the other one was?
They're leaves. I ate them all.
They were leaves. And then we had just a lettuce blend. So I made him a little salad, and then I put the different microgreens in different piles so that he could pick which ones he liked better. And he literally picked it up with his hand and shoved it all in his mouth. And then took the squash and gave it to the dog.
That's not true. You're a fibber.
I saw you give the dogs the squash.
You saw me give the dogs a piece of squash.
It was the largest piece of squash.
It was half of it. I ate the other half.
I gave you a half.
And I ate half of the half.
Oh my goodness.
I tried it hard enough just for you.
That wasn't hard enough.
Hard enough.
No.
Yep.
But he did eat all of the greens without even any salad dressing or anything. He just picked it all up and ate it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No cheese on it, no salad dressing, no pepper, nothing, just the greens.
Yeah, I just put them in a big ball, stuck them in my mouth, and ate them. I got all my vegetables, all my vitamins and minerals and everything I needed in one handful, and it was down in 8 seconds.
I wanna grow some. I'm gonna do that. Seeds.
Tabletop says peas.
Oh yes, peas.
Yeah. Hey, Walk in Him Ministries is here. I'm happy to have you, and says, hope we are well. We are fantastic. Other than I'm fed squash
and greens
all the time. Greens I don't mind so much.
Oh yay! You guys heard it. I'm not going to have any backlash of greens.
Johnny says
spring is coming.
Be 53 in 5 days. Johnny, I added you to my list for a week from now, and so anybody's got birthdays coming up, let me know, and if I can get them wrote down.
5 days. That's the same day. No, that was 5 days. They're going to be the same age. They're going to be the same birthday.
Yep. New day. Yep.
Yeah. Was it 5 days?
Yep. 5 days.
They have the same birthday.
Yep. Grumpy says 120 people watching, and I lost it. But thank you to the 120 people who are watching.
Yes, thank you.
Can people please pray for Skane's girl and her mom? They're not feeling well.
Everybody. Girl.
Yeah. So everybody, let's give a prayer out to Skane's girl and her mother, and specifically her mother because she's elderly. And, they don't recover quite as fast. So let's get them in our prayers, you know.
Anybody in the area, we can get them some egg yolks.
Yeah. Wait, does that mean 3 of us have birthdays on the 8th? Oh, Jules' birthday.
Jules is the 8th. Also, the 8th? Is that the 8th? What's today? Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Mandy Garrett says, be your awesome.
Thank you. She said, you guys. But I know what she meant.
Sweet Savvy Word says, you guys know China's into bioweapons. It is very worrying. It could have a time till the breakout. Yeah, and this would be a huge concern. A huge concern. Let a little bit of something out. Man, horrible. But what are you doing about it? What are you doing to protect yourself against these types of threats? Because there's things you can do, right? And there's a wealth of knowledge right here in this room here tonight, that can help you guys through, any of these threats. And I'm not trying to live in fear, because certainly don't live in fear. Live your life and all of that, because we don't even know if any of it's true, right? I mean, I think that their goal is to keep us scared, because as long as we're scared, we're fighting them instead of fighting each other instead of fighting them. They want us divided by design. So it's hard to say, but I would still be, prepared. Tag, you are too funny. David is the same when it comes to greens. Yeah, there's no sense in messing around. I'll just put it in a ball. I'll eat it all. Everything's fine. Right? Oh my goodness, I missed so many. Oh yeah, look at all those prayers. B, yes, they need eggs.
Because the whole yolk thing we were just reading about.
Yeah, crazy.
Yolks.
Right.
Anybody else see that?
Yep.
How wonderful they are for you.
Yeah, why don't you talk about that?
About the egg yolks?
Yeah, about what the study said.
I didn't read the study. I just saw there's a chiropractor on YouTube that I follow, talks about heart disease and parasites or mold. And he had put a picture up on YouTube that talked about the egg yolks helping to prevent sicknesses from. So that might be why some of the egg shortage, some of the fires happening, and some of the let's get the 2 yolks a day.
Yeah, Jamie says 2 yolks a day keeps it away.
Yeah.
Yep. No doubt. Cletus, hello.
Anybody else see that?
Yeah. Well,
what did you heard it from somebody?
Yeah, I was listening to Redacted, which is a channel I listen to a lot when I drive, because it's an hour and a half long, and then they cover the kind of the geopolitics of life. And they were talking about the study, and I think it was in England, like at Oxford or something like that. But anyway, that they did a study about the yolks of an egg being great at combating COVID. And then all of a sudden we're going through all of these egg shortages and all of these things. And then, so here's the other thing that I think is so fascinating about this is we need to work hard at not being dependent on places like Tractor Supply and these other places to get our chicks, right? We got to get good at growing our own. We got to get good at growing them in our communities, right? Getting them that way versus getting them incubated and intubated and vaccinated, right? We need to do our best to be doing that, so let me see here. Renee, hello. How are you? Is that Dr. Berg? It probably was. They say now that the egg shortage is because they found out eggs block C19. Yeah, and that's what they were saying.
That's what they were saying.
Don't be scared, just prepared. Horse Range Mountain Farm could not have said it better. Storm Rider says wood stove getting installed next Friday. Hopefully nothing happens before then. Yeah, amen. Amen. I've installed a bunch of them.
They're heavy.
They're heavy. That's right. They're definitely heavy. Yeah.
We've had to finagle some pretty creative ways to get them in.
Sweet Savvy Word says, what if they're dropping seeds to invasive species?
Oh, well, our county dropped seeds of invasive species so that they could control erosion. And now if you don't mow them, you get charged $100 a day.
Yep.
But those same weeds are feed supply for chickens.
Miley says, gone, get me some milk and chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, and Miley, I have chocolate milk and squash cake.
Squash cake.
Raw quail eggs are known to help many, what's that word? Maladies?
Yeah.
Okay, one of which is allergies. Interesting.
What's quail eggs?
Quail eggs. The only reason I've never really wanted to grow quail and all that is just so small. You just get these little eggs. You need so many more of them, But
they probably do have different properties than a chicken egg.
Let me see. Richard wants to know if I've seen the Redacted on Nikola Tesla. I don't think so. I watch a lot of their stuff, but the only time I usually watch them, guys, is when I've got a 2-hour drive ahead of me or a 3-hour drive, because I don't listen to the radio.
You don't have to watch it. You could just
I just listen to it, So I don't believe I've seen that one. Let me see here. Jules said, I had C19 right at the beginning. The hospital was exceptionally sketchy, which is why I walked out. Wow, everyone's birthday is in February. I'll be 54 on the 13th. Starla, happy birthday. We're going to have to do something
for birthdays. There's a lot of February birthdays.
Starla. We love getting eggs from our local farmer, Nancy says. Hey, Nancy, welcome.
Hey, Nancy.
Guys, here's another example right here, right? The Buffalo Seed Company's in the house with Nancy, and they're a small business, and they're doing it the right way, and they're trying to grow their seeds from their seeds and make them hardy and make them adapted. Regionally adapted is the words they use. Do business with them. TheBuffaloSeedCompany.com. Just buy your seeds there. That's what we're going to do, right? And, support the channels that are in here. Rain Country's in here. Squash Milk.
Squash Milk.
Man, if I'd have read that, I'd have never plugged her. No, just kidding.
I wonder if I put a little chocolate sauce in there if you'd even notice.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Try it. And we'll see if I notice, because I will absolutely notice. I've been drinking chocolate milk since I was a little kid.
I know, but when I used the fresh milk, you didn't say anything.
Mhm.
You said you could tell, I guess.
I could tell.
I thought you said I figured you couldn't tell because you didn't say anything.
No, I could tell.
But you still didn't say anything.
No, because it's good. It's fine.
So squash milk might be good. It might be fine.
Johnny went to AWOL from the hospital. Manny said, we want to build a combination of a bunker storm shelter root cellar on our property that has compacted clay and rock. Is it even possible? If it is, any tips or advice? Mandy, I can help you a lot with this project. I know a whole lot about this. You have to email me though.
Yeah. Long entrance with curve in it.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what's the overall goal, right? Are you worried about radiation? Are you worried about, but there's a lot of things that can be done to deal with all of these things, and you can absolutely do it in compact clay. Tamara says she loves egg. I didn't get to watch him, but Billy on Permapastures has a solution to chicken feed.
Oh.
Yeah. Now we got a solution we're working on.
We're working on it.
Mm-hmm. No,
to be able to make our own chicken feed.
Yeah. So I've got an idea. What if I took all the Lespedeza? That's the noxious weed that B was talking about that the county brought to us and then fines us if we don't take care of it. So they brought it because it's really high on protein, and it was really good at erosion. And they thought they could feed the animals it, and it would help with erosion. And then it got out of control because it's a noxious weed, and now that's everywhere. Anyway, we don't put any chemicals on our land, zero. And so what I want to know is, can I take the Lespedeza because it's high in protein, and can I run it through a pellet machine, dry it, run it through a pellet machine, and store it up for the winter? And then can I use that as a substitute in our chicken food? And I would love to hear from you guys who raise chickens, Rain Country, all you guys out there who are smarter than me, and let me know if that's possible. But I'm thinking that might be.
And still have the cracked corn,
yeah,
and then the oats,
yep,
and then just add it to the mixture of things that we
yep.
grow on our farm that we could produce for them.
Yep. See, Johnny asking, Jules, do they try to force you to stay laying down, which is bad, while keeping you loaded with morphine? Ugh.
That's the hospital.
Yeah. Horse Range Mountain Farm says, I can tell you from working in EMS to stay away from the hospital if all possible.
Yes.
Yeah, Mrs. Hacks says, save me some Lespedeza, please. Mrs. Hacks, you can have all you want. I don't think you understand how much I have.
I can get you some seeds.
Yeah, you can. Oh my goodness, there are so many. We can bale it. We can, whatever it is you want to do, we can do it.
Well, that's what's in our hay bales. I mean,
yeah.
She's gotten a hay bale from us.
Yeah. There's a lot of it in hay bales. Yeah.
Because goats love it.
Yeah, because we don't plant our hay that comes off our land is natural prairie grass. We don't plant brome or any of that kind of stuff. Sweet Savory Word said, I heard chickens love squash. I heard chickens love squash too. And I don't think we have enough for the humans because our chicken pets really need it.
When I was cutting the squash up today and you walked in, he says, oh, you're making chicken food. Like, no, I'm making your food.
Yep. Coraline, welcome back, said, I had a bout with Merrick's disease with my American Breeze chickens a couple of years ago. I have a new flock of buff Brahms in a different area. I had to take one of the hens to the vet to get euthanized.
Oh, yeah, sorry. What? From Merrick's, the new one?
Yeoman's Work says, thanks for coming out and talking to us. How do you pronounce that?
In Chillicothe.
Chillicothe.
That's Missouri.
Yeah, I know where it is.
So they were there.
Yeah. Yeoman's Work. It was absolutely my pleasure. I had a great time meeting you guys, and you guys have all the building blocks you need. You have everything you need. You just you just got to find 5 or 6 leaders who are willing to, put themselves on the back burner for the better of the community and push that narrative. And you guys will be just fine. And it was my pleasure, and I'll come back anytime. Have a good night, everyone. Spags is out. He's got to go do Boy Scout stuff tomorrow, apparently. Yep. Good night, bud. No, okay. I wonder how many here grew up with an outhouse and how many don't know what an outhouse is. I hate outhouses.
We all know what they are.
Not everybody.
Well,
yeah, we know. Yeah. Coraline says, and sent off for a
necropsy
to see if it Merrick's disease. So very heartbroken. Yeah.
Like an autopsy.
Growing sunflowers for the seeds for the chickens. Stinging nettle even is very nutritious and has protein. Yeah,
we do have stinging nettles.
Yeah, we have all of those. What I'm curious about, can we put them in pellets?
You wouldn't have to.
Well, the sunflower seeds you wouldn't, but any of that green stuff. Because what I'm not concerned about is the summer, babe. The chickens have all this land to roam.
You're trying to dry it for the winter.
I'm trying to see can I
compact it?
Can I compact it? Can I dry it? Can I store it in 55-gallon drums?
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it where I don't have to go get feed.
How would you dry it?
I don't know. You're solar dehydrated?
Oh, yes.
I don't know, but can it? I just didn't know.
Because I don't think you would feed, like when we feed them the Lespedeza, they do not eat the stem. They eat the leaves off of the stem. So I wonder if just when you dry it and then just run your hand along the stem and pull off all of those leaves, if it would be, because then you could just pack a barrel full of them and you wouldn't have to pellet them. Although you throw them outside and they would just poo on them.
Well, because the truth is you could dehydrate a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff you could do, but I think if I could find a way to dry and pellet,
they would
that
eat
stuff,
better,
not even just for them, for the sheep.
Yeah.
For whatever it is. Right.
Well, then you might actually be able to use the stems.
Yeah. I don't know. We saved all of our excess food and scraps that was grown in our garden and have been feeding them through the winter.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have some squash and potatoes and stuff that I've been doing that with too.
Rain Country says also chicory. Chickens love fresh chicory, and it is super healthy for them and is a natural antiviral.
Oh, you didn't mind the chicory when I made it for you.
No, I've had chicory coffee. It's not coffee. Let's just be clear. It's dirty water.
Yeah.
But it's a whole lot better than no coffee.
So I wonder if the chicory, if you do the root or if you do the tops, because like when I made it for you, I used the root.
Yeah. We'll have to ask Rain Country. And hey, any of you guys in here that are not subscribed to Rain Country, what a great channel. That lady is so smart. She is so smart. Smart.
Yeah. Talk about doing it for yourself.
Yo Man's work says it's pronounced Yo Man.
Yo Man.
Yo Man. Pentagon confirms tracking of Latin American balloon seen over Costa Rica on Thursday, but didn't give a current location. And man, Terminator says, when I have a chicken that needs to be put down, I just chop its head off. Of course you do. I'm surprised you don't chew its head off. Okay. Amy B says, my chickens go for the squash seeds first, but will eat all of it eventually. Does anyone who hatches their own eggs vaccinate for Merrick's? I just realized I don't vaccinate. Yeah, we're not vaccinating anything, but
I don't.
I just don't trust what's in that stuff. We hatch all of our own birds, and we'll start here March 1st. Right, the first eggs will go in March 1st. And so another, about a month away, and we'll start hatching, and then we will hatch all the way through September.
Every 21 days.
Every 21 days. Yep. Tom Shivel says, hey guys, I will be 79 February the 26th and will not have squash cake. Yahoo. Well, Tom, I'm going to put you on the birthday list.
February 26th.
Yeah.
79 years old.
Yep. 79 years young. 79 years wise, right?
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let me see. Yep, chopping the head off usually does it. Oh, I just missed it.
You gotta have a good axe.
Yeah.
I struggled with that.
Let me see. Yeah, Terminator says at minus 45 degrees, the seat's a little frosty. Yeah, you think? Yeah, broccoli. I'm not sure what Grumpy Acres is talking
Probably
about.
chicken feed, maybe?
Yeah, can you pellet it? Problem is being able to grow enough. See, there's
that though we would eat. Like the Lespedeza we wouldn't eat.
And plants like broccoli are not efficient.
Efficient?
Efficient.
Because you only get the tops.
Yeah, you're not
you
getting
have the whole rest of it that you could.
You can. Yeah, what I'm talking about is take the comparable space. You grow 10 broccoli plants,
Okay.
and then plant an equal number to fill that space of cucumbers.
Oh,
You're going to get
especially if you have an arch.
Yeah, if you're feeding it to animals, how much more produce are you going to get out of that same use of dirt as you are planting? I mean, I love broccoli. We planted it this year. It was great. But I'm talking
but
about
we only eat the crowns.
Right.
I mean, you could use the leaves, but we don't.
Yeah,
Maybe we should.
Horse Range Mountain Farm says grind it and then dry it. Yeah. I wouldn't pellet it. Just dehydrate it. Hang on in or dehydrate and save. I save dehydrated greens and add them to natural grains in making my chicken mix. Yeah, the worry about that for me would be just the storage of it. If I'm not compacting and I'm not putting into pellets, the space I need to store it and to keep it dry, right? Not molding, all of those kind of things. You could put the noxious weeds through a shredder grinder, and that would speed drying and possibly use the stems. What percent protein? I think it's 18% protein, if I remember correctly.
On the
Lespedeza. Yeah, which is a high protein count.
Well, and you had taken some and thrown it because where the chickens are, there's no grass because they pound it down. So when we open the gate, they can free range, but you had taken some and thrown it over the fence, and they cleaned those stems fast.
Yeah. Indiana Mike says Cerisa Lespedeza pellets are currently being produced by Faithway Feeds.
Huh.
See, this is what I'm saying, guys. I need to do some more research. Write that here. You want to write that down?
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to give you.
I got a piece of paper here.
So I'll give you your own notebook, so you can keep your hands off mine.
Yeah.
Indiana Mike, thank you for that. Faithway Feeds. We're going to look that up. They're sticky wood closets to use the bathroom. Yucky bad memories. Yeah, no vaccinating here. Renee, hello. What breed chicken does well with setting on eggs and raising chicks?
Silkies.
Yeah, so our best sitters were Silkies. They seem to be the best.
They're just littler.
They're just littler, but they would accept more too.
Yeah.
You know, like if you snuck a baby underneath them, you know, they're more likely to take them than our other birds.
I've had where I took her. She was sitting on eggs, and I took her eggs and replaced them with babies, and she accepted the babies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the other chickens don't take them as easy. Like you got to be way more. When you stick them underneath them, like they got to be ready.
Yeah, they have to be like crack.
They're not as accepting. Yeah,
like the day before. Yeah.
Well,
and I don't know the breeds of other than the Silky. I don't know the breeds of the other ones because I got them as adults. Like it's a particular breed, white, all white body with a brownish.
Well, some of them
colored. Right
and now
here.
they're so crossbred that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the B breed.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens too when you have several roosters.
Yeah. Yeah. Coraline says, a hot water heater went out today, and I was wondering if you think that we could turn the water heater into a trough for the pig. Sure.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of uses you could do with that water heater. There's all kinds of things you could do. My daughter dries moringa leaves into the dehydrator, and I add some to the rice I cook as a treat for our chickens.
Oh.
Excellent.
Yeah, I use the moringa just for myself.
Yeah. Silky chickens will sit on a rock to hatch it, but take special care they can't get wet. Poor cold tolerance. Oh. Thank you, Amy. Tag, you better look at nutrient values. Yeah, guys, I haven't done Big Kid where I'm at. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of research into this yet. It's just something I've been thinking about. How do we starve the beast more? How do I lessen that dependency based? I mean, I have this big piece of property. What can I grow with low energy input?
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of it too.
Yes.
It can't be super hands-on growing, and it can't be super hands-on putting up.
Making, yeah. Because
you just got to manage your energy all the time. But I have tons of Lespedeza.
Yeah.
And, many other things. But, we have a whole bunch of wild turnips. Whole bunches.
Yes. Well, and those things, they just keep coming back without us doing anything about it. It just continues to come back.
Yeah.
So that helps.
Yeah. Starla says, what is the value of raising tobacco? Buffalo seed has seeds. Yeah, we grew tobacco for them last year. And it was a ceremonial tobacco called...
White Calf Buffalo Woman.
White Calf Buffalo Woman. And we regrew them. And my neighbor across the street grew some for him.
Another kind.
A different kind that got big and tall. But I've heard a lot of people, I've never used it, but I've heard a lot of people that use it as wormer. For the animals.
Right.
That it will take care of some of those issues. Again, lessening your dependency on an external input.
Supply.
Well, you guys got to be careful. I mean, just like any of these stories, the eggs that are,
Yeah.
the people that are putting stuff in eggs to make them, hatch less. And I mean, I don't know
On
what's
the
true, what's
food.
not, but I think the more we take care of ourselves, I think the healthier animals are going to be anyway.
Well, and that's what, I mean, realistically, that's what the earth will provide for us. We just have to know what to do. That's why Rain Country comes in so handy, because there's so much that she does.
Yeah. Yeah, we love watching her. Cleta said a pond to grow duckweed and minnows, dry, both in the sun and wind. Yeah, I haven't finished the video on it. I haven't even finished it yet, but I built Bee a big solar dehydrator.
I cannot wait.
A big one. Not like one of these little ones that you see on YouTube.
I have a little big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. I just got to get it finished. But broccoli microgreens are much more practical. Yeah, that would make sense. Just tabletop. Than growing the whole broccoli.
Okay.
Because the thing about broccoli, it's much like cauliflower. It's like a lot of those things. I mean, I bitch about squash a lot, but man, the fact of the matter is that's a low energy input, high reward crop.
I didn't do anything with it.
That's what I'm saying.
I had 2 plants and it literally gave me a lot of food.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Let me see here. Where am I at here? I raise tobacco for personal use. Could be barter and a collapse. Absolutely. Amy B says 18% is perfect for layer feed. See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to do more research on this. I'm going to see if I can figure it out. Or the inducer fan motor. Yeah, I must have missed something up there. Sorry, guys. They just go by. Hey, guys, we have a very special guest here tonight. Very special guest. One of my very best friends in the world is here, and that's the Bug Out channel down there. And I don't know if you guys have ever been there or not. He doesn't do a ton of videos, but they're all usually about bug out bags and those kind of things. But the bug out bag guy has been my shooting buddy for 15 years. And, we joke about him a lot. He's did tons of deployments overseas and just a really, really good guy. And Bug Out channel, I'm super happy you're here. And for anybody who's never checked out that channel, go check it out. Again, super, super, super good guy.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, and I've never said this publicly either, but this is my partner on freesteading.
In crime.
Yeah, he's my partner in crime. And so he gets, the majority of the credit for making freesteading work is that guy right there, Bug Out channel, that's in there. So everybody say hello, Bug Out channel.
Hello, Bug Out channel.
Let me see here. Where am I at here? Oh my goodness, man, it just goes by so fast. I'll just start right there. I don't even know where I was. Tag, you need to look at stockpiling feed and doing something similar. We try to stockpile it. I mean, I've got Big Kid, I've got 55-gallon barrels with screw top lids that are full of corn and all kinds of stuff. But the problem is I have to buy it, right? I don't want to stockpile the feed, Big Kid. I want to produce it. I want to figure out how to cut that chain to the system in a way that is, it's got to meet a few qualifications, right? It's got to be healthy. It's got to be nutritional to the animals. It's got to offer them the right protein, all of that. But it's got to be a low input issue and for both the planting, the harvesting
time.
It's all about energy capital. And so this is why Lespedeza came to my mind, because you can't kill it out here.
Right.
I mow it down every year, guys. I mean, I mow it and shred it and mow it and shred it and mow it and shred it. And the next year it's back just as bad.
Yeah.
The county says you got to mow it by this time of year. I mow it by that time of year, and I've never even slowed it down. So anyway, oh yes, comfrey is another herb that I add to the blend I mix with chicken. Yeah, Bee grows comfrey.
That's right. I remember the comfrey. I don't have enough to grow for the chickens though.
Yeah. How to Starve the Beast. Take a clue from the playbook. Get it full on something with no nutrient value. Hey, there's the Buffalo Seed Company link. Yeah, guys, do business with them. I heard elderberry leaves are good dewormer and nutrients for chickens. I had not heard that. I have a video. Rain Country says I have a video. I talked about antiviral herbs for chickens, but also ones that are very nutritious for them. And a lot of them are ones that grow easily for most, including dandelion greens.
Oh.
Yeah. It's crazy. We have almost no dandelions.
We don't.
And we don't spray anything. But I very rarely see a dandelion.
I have bees, so I would be okay with the dandelions.
Yeah.
Because dandelion honey is delicious.
Yep. Hey, look at all that high Bug Out channel, high Bug Out channel, high Bug Out channel. No, that's not stockpiling. Look it up. All right, bud. I'll look it up. Indiana Mike, I should have got your number. I messaged you on Freesteading. Yeah, you can find him there. Look at all those hay bug outs.
Is he under Indiana Mike on Freesteading?
I think he's Indiana Mike on Freesteading. I think so. Yeah, keep in mind you won't be able to mow it after the shit hits the fan so easily. And even more reason to do something about it now, right? And to try to figure out how to do it. How do you make cracked corn? Well, you grow corn and let it dry and crack it. But again, that's a high input solution. That is not a low input solution, in my opinion. You know. So let me see here. Keep dividing comfrey long term. It pays off in so many ways. I agree, Steve Hall. And we will. This will be our second year growing comfrey now, and so we're hoping it'll really, kind of take off.
Yeah, I only had a couple plants last year, so this year I have quite a bit more.
Yeah. Do you? Rain Country wants to know: do you grow borage?
I don't.
Yeah, borage is good for both chickens and bees.
Okay.
Yeah, you might
need to look into that.
Hey, Deep South is here. Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead are in the house. How are you guys? And yeah, Bug Out Channel is a good one. Happy you're here, Wanda and Danny. Let me see here. People were chatting, earlier today about lazy people. Okay. I just posted a funny video on my YouTube a few minutes ago about a very lazy worker I hired today. Message for viewers: don't be a Mary Pat. Okay. Well, Hilltop Homestead, everybody go over there and we'll watch that video.
Mary Pat.
Richard wants to know if you sell honey.
Not usually.
Mm-hmm.
I only have a few hives, so
yeah.
I don't. We typically use what we produce.
Oh, hey, Alabama had a really interesting point. Dandelion will stop growing when its job of bringing calcium and a couple other things up and replenish the soil. Maybe we just don't need it. I don't know, but you don't hardly see any dandelions where we live. Lamb's quarter weeds are great protein and calcium for chickens.
Okay.
Interesting.
Have you had lamb's quarters?
I don't know.
Isn't that what? Mm-hmm. I thought that's what somebody took that to the camp out, didn't they? They cooked it down. It was like a whole pot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
Looked like spinach.
Yeah, Pope Reaper Life put a video out yesterday, guys, about the egg benefits. So make sure we watch that one too.
Okay.
Yeah, and Deep South too. I mean, there's so many people on here that already follow Deep South, but if you haven't, what great people. And, they've really been mentors for B&I.
Yeah.
And I can't say thanks enough. Let me see. We finally got comfrey the other day. So excited. Good for you, Horse Range Mountain Farm. All right. Hey, Pack Rat's here. Hello. Good evening. Okay, Rain Country says, I have read that before about dandelion, but I have not seen that to be true here. The more nutrient dense the soil is here, the bigger the dandelions get, which is great for me. Yeah, super great. Maybe we do, and I just haven't noticed, but it doesn't seem like we get many dandelions.
No, we don't.
I mean, I've seen a few, but
they're usually the first things out in the spring because, they're usually when the bees are still right out of the hives or looking for something. The dandelions are usually one of the first things up. Yeah. And we don't have very many. Mm-hmm. There's a couple, one or two here or there, but not a lot.
Yo Man's Work says a lazy worker is like vinegar in the mouth or smoke in the eyes. Proverbs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lamb's quarter are a mildly salty green that are quite the volunteer plant in our area. Yeah, cool. New Day said they've been following Deep South since 2016. Yeah, they're absolute elders to the YouTube community and just tons of knowledge. I've learned a ton. Dandelions are good for a lot of things.
Jelly.
Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Corn syrup in fermented feed, good for chickens.
Corn syrup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jeff, Childish Coffee and COVID has a newsletter, and today they're talking about the balloon.
Oh.
Yeah, the balloon we were talking about. Hey, Alabama, we were talking about a lot earlier on the live, and I found out all kinds of things about it today. I can't believe that we just allow stuff like that. If the narrative they're giving us is true, which is highly unlikely, because obviously the only thing they're going to tell us is stuff that's not true or their spin on it. But if what they're telling us is true or any part of it is true, we should be ashamed of ourselves. Big Kid says buckwheat is something that grows and harvests fast, 6 to 8 weeks and done.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of buckwheat honey.
Mm.
That's one thing that the honey tends to be darker, and in my opinion, it smells like wet dogs. It does.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the dark honey, and I know that they all have different properties. You know, whatever the bees get into is what the honey is going to be, and the lighter the honey, the more sought after it is.
Mm.
But we did have one of the fields around here was buckwheat. I think it was like my second year in beekeeping, or was it the first year? I think it was the second year. And I was not a fan of that honey.
Mm-hmm.
I think I turned around and sold it because I didn't like it. I mean, I ate it, but it was not nearly as good as like dandelion honey or linden honey or
Amy B says linden honey is amazing.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yo Man's Work says, what's the best advice for curing pork? You know, bud, I would not be the best one to ask that. Danny, if he's in here from Deep South Homestead, it'd be a great one. Tabletop Farms, right there, your neighbor, would be a fabulous one to ask that question to. I'm not a butcher. I just eat it, but either one of them would be, there'll be a whole lot of people in here that'll answer you. So what's the best advice, guys, for curing pork? And someone will give you a great answer. Now, hey, Alabama says darker honey is better. Never use grade A. It's too filtered to be of any use. Yeah, we don't
filtered.
Yeah, we don't filter anything, but depending upon what the bees are eating, the color of the honey changes. You see, Ghetto says we've noticed less dandelions growing around us the past few years. Yeah, I never really noticed it until you guys talked about it tonight. But can you encircle your garden with comfrey to block Bermuda grass? Oh, he says I can encircle the garden with comfrey. We got a ton of comfrey. So I brought up borage because it is also called bee bread and is said to be up the honey production. When it's in bloom, my garden comes alive with bees. It's super easy to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rain Country Bee wrote it down, and she loves bringing all kinds of new plants in.
Yeah.
And we may have some we don't even know about.
There's all kinds of stuff that we find and we just didn't know it was there until we know what it looks like.
Yeah. Let me see here. Packrat says, by definition, the weather balloon is supposed to rise into the atmosphere and explode at some point. It would be a shame if the United States Air Force prematurely exploded it for Chairman Mao's meteorology club. Yeah, I don't, when I watched the brief today by the Pentagon, they said it was a spy balloon. So, but again, how do you know what to believe, guys? Yeah, Steve says the best way to cure it is to make sausage. Brightleaf Gardens, new subscriber. Well, hello, Brightleaf. Welcome. Super happy you're here. We'd love to learn more about you. Tell us what Brightleaf Gardens is. I don't know for a fact, but I was told comfrey will take over if it gives it a chance.
Oh.
Tabletop says a natural cure uses celery powder. Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Starla says, welcome home, Brightleaf. That's pretty cool. How cool is that? I love that. All right. So I'm caught up in comments, so I'm going to keep it plugging away. We talked about that. Over on my Ungovernable channel, I was on the radio this week with the Power Hour. So that's down in Texas, but it's actually all over the country. It's the number 35 listened to radio station. They have 35 million listeners. And so I was on the radio station earlier this week, and I posted it on the Ungovernable channel. If you guys are interested, we just talked about living off grid and, kind of, starving the beast a little bit and some of those kind of things. So, we'll see how that works out. But anyway, I just thought you guys should know that it's over there if anyone was curious to listen to it. Let me see. B, can you please resend my bill so I can send you money, says Rickster.
Yes.
Yep. Debbie Van Fossen, hello, says Mark. And I'm not sure what that means. Horse Range Mountain Farm says, Tag, when you come down this month, hit me up and we'll hook you up with some sourwood honey. Oh, deal. Are you going to be
sourwood?
You're going to be down at the Next Steps convention, Horse Range Mountain Farm? You going to be there? Let me know. Hope they test all the debris. Yeah, me too. B, we have all these names for the farm animals. Do you have your bees named?
Not the bees.
Guys, I'll tell
The
you something.
chickens are all named, but not the bees.
Yeah, B is such a dork. We'll be out working and I'll be doing whatever I'm doing, pouring concrete, whatever it is, and a bee will fly by and she'll say something like, "Oh, thanks for checking in," or whatever.
Yeah.
It just,
I know they know me.
Yeah. Evie, the URL for the Ungovernable site, if you go into the description of this video, I put a description and it actually says Star of the Beast. The name of the channel is Ungovernable, but the link is Star of the Beast, and it's in the description down there. Big Kid says, I have another channel that we just started called Ungovernable, and I'm gonna just take a hard hit at education and the banking system and a lot of those kind of things. Because I'm worried that if I do that just here, they're going to take my channel. And then, so I'm going to kind of work on both of them. Amy B says, B, you could name the queens.
Yeah, I have. I have marked the queens before and then went back and they requeened. So I don't bother a whole lot of.
Yeah.
I can't tell them apart.
Yeah. Jules says, by the way, Tag, I got a 23 on my UGS. So Jules asked me to send her the UGS calculator, which I did. And a 23 is actually pretty good. Most people that take it get in the teens.
Wow.
So.
I haven't even looked at it.
Yeah. Sweet Savior Word says, yes, lamb quarters is better than spinach.
Oh, we like spinach.
Dandelion is usually a sign of compacted soil, says Deep South.
That makes sense.
Hey Alabama says, I found 2 channels with that name. Well, if you guys, hey Alabama, scroll up in the comments all the way to the top, and I was the first comment on this live under Ungovernable.
So
or go to
the
I don't know, but you can also go to the description on this video underneath, and I put it in there too. Yeah, there you go. Eagle Lover just posted the link right there.
To the Ungovernable?
Ungovernable, yep. Not sure yet, but we live about 45 minutes there checking our work schedule. Yeah, well, I'd love to see it. And listen, if you do go, make sure you find me. And sit me out, and we'll have breakfast, or we'll do something. I'm gonna be there for 3 days, so we'll do something, breakfast, lunch, dinner, or something. I'd love to get to know you guys.
Coffee, chocolate milk.
Yep. Tabletop Farm says subscribed. Yeah, cool. Put some nail polish on the queens to differentiate.
They change this. You change the smell of them, and they don't like that. I tried to mark the queen with bee. Marking pen, and they requeened her immediately.
Yeah. Ghetto says, how many times a day do you use the term, well, that's the bee's knees?
Well, that's the bee's knees. I'm going to start.
Well, it doesn't take many dandelions to spread fast. Yeah, but here's the crazy thing, Sweet Savory Words, is we'd take them. Spread all you want. Because we have bees and chickens and all kinds of stuff running around. And they make really good jelly.
Yeah. And the bees love them. And they're good for you to eat. And the roots. And lots of reasons to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Starla Doak says that June 2nd is the 3rd Okie Homestead Expo. Oh, super cool. I didn't even know that went on. I like Oklahoma. Let me see here. Always twin off your videos to Odyssey. They make a plug-in to do that as a simultaneous upload. Yeah, Rumble does this. And I have a Rumble channel that it just automatically uploads. I'm not hardly even ever on Rumble.
Well, no, because we can't figure out how to get comments off of there.
Yeah, it's a little more complicated.
We have tried. They'll say, you have a new comment. And we're like, where?
Rain Country said, correction, chocolate squash milk. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Rain Country, you have now redeemed yourself in the squash conversation by adding chocolate. Cul-de-sac says, talk about your event coming up, please. What time? I'm assuming Cul-de-sac, you're talking to me, and if you are,
Georgia or which?
Yeah, event? So I've got a bunch of them coming up. So the end of this month, I will be in Georgia at the Next Step convention,
right?
And I'm going to be talking about creating that parallel society. I'll be down there for 3 days. I'm a speaker on day 1, but there are some great speakers that are going to be there. Just some people who are absolutely activists and journalists and doctors and all of this. And to tell you guys kind of a funny story. my sister and my brother-in-law and the kids, and I say kids, they're not even really kids anymore, are all coming up to stay with B while I'm gone. So how in the hell does my sister and my family come up to visit because I'm gone? What does that tell you guys?
Because we're gonna party.
Yeah, Yo Man's work says reports are coming in of an explosion in the sky in Montana. Yeah, they've been talking about it in here, Yo Man, for a little bit. And I'm not sure what's going on, but when I get off this, I'm going to go do a little bit of investigating. Back to the events. The other one is at the end of March, I will be speaking at the Self-Reliance Festival in Camden, Tennessee. And I'm going to be a little bit different topic than I'm used to. Usually people want me to come speak about COVID and education and, these kind of things, but I'm going to be speaking about what it's like to live off grid. And so I'll be giving a presentation about off grid down there. And so I'll be going down there. The end of April will be the Midwest Preparedness Project here in Kansas. So we'll be doing that. And the Midwest Preparedness Project, guys, is very different than any of the rest of these festivals. It's not like, your traditional, you walk in, you pay a ticket, you see some speakers, you walk around the vendors and go home. Midwest is a whole different thing. It's a big, gigantic camp out about camaraderie.
Are you talking about the camp out?
The camp out, yeah. Yeah, so it's totally different. So it costs nothing. It's free. You come. There's a few speakers on Saturday and a couple on Friday. Usually we have Barter Town. We have potlucks. But one potluck on Saturday
night.
Yeah, but it's really designed around camaraderie and community. Mm-hmm. So my funnest event the thing I like doing the most is at night sitting around the campfire. And the campfire is huge, right? There's chairs in a gigantic circle with this huge bonfire in the middle, and we're just talking about whatever, that would be my favorite part of the whole thing. So
just getting to see people talking.
Yeah.
They had a seed exchange. They had Nerf war game. They had
for the kids.
There were kids.
There were some big
adults,
kids.
There were some adults involved in that.
Yeah.
Then just being able to talk to people that you don't get to see all the time.
Yeah. I love it.
There was some exchanging of things going on.
Yeah.
Shirts and
Cul-de-sac says the potluck in Topeka, and what she's talking about is the 12th.
I don't know.
It's the 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 12th. We have a community potluck going on the 12th here in Northeast Kansas. We're just going to get together and eat together, which is something we do fairly regularly. Cul-de-sac, is that what you're referring to? So that'd be the 12th, right up here by where I live, up by Holton, Kansas. Let me see. Salt and brown sugar is what we use to cure our pork, says Deep South. Yeah. Brown sugars are good on everything. I love it in my oatmeal. Oatmeal is one of my favorite breakfasts, and oatmeal with raisins, walnuts, and brown sugar is as good as anything else out there.
I miss the walnuts.
Debbie Van Frosten says, I saw you on Anyone Can Farm Experience last Thursday. Enjoyed your interview with Mark Baker of Baker's Green Acres. Yeah, they've asked me to come speak in July at their event up there. I don't know if I can do it yet. I'm still working on that, but I may go up to Michigan in July, Debbie, and speak. We'll see how that goes. I need to figure out how far it is.
That's a long ways up there.
Everything's a long ways.
That's true.
Yeah. Weeds will grow in awful soil and do not need much water. Yeah. If Midwest Preparedness Project is the first one that is local, can I get my sweatshirt from you then?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to mail it to her? Because don't we have a sweatshirt for cul-de-sac?
Yeah.
Did you mail it?
No, I sent her a message.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but then she wouldn't have to pay shipping.
You wouldn't have to pay shipping, right? But you just have to wait until April because it's at the end of April. So the first one I got Cummins, Georgia. Then I've got Tennessee. Then we've got the Midwest Preparedness Project, et cetera, et cetera. Someone asked up here earlier, and I don't remember, were there any events in the Pacific Northwest? I've been asked to come out there out to Seattle and talk to some people, and I told them to send me details, and I've never heard anything back. So I'm unaware of anything that's there. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Hacks, for the homesteader. Welcome too, by the way. What's up, buddy? Why do weeds grow so much better than planted crops? That's a really good question. Hey, Danny, Wanda, a rain country. All you superstars that are out here that do this all the time. Why do weeds grow so much better than planted crops? Right, but what weeds, right?
I mean, there's
right.
I remember a time, when all the greenery looked the same. It was all green stuff. And then, he's like, stop. What can you use right here that you have a bee sting? And I'm like, I don't know. They're all green. And he's like, look at this right here. Look at the edges of this and look at how pointy it is. And look at how, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess it does look different than the rest of them, So weeds to one person is, edibles to the other.
Yeah. Ghetto says Tag is too scared to come to my hood. He doesn't like us in the Pacific Northwest. No, you know what? The right event, Ghetto, I would absolutely come up and speak anywhere in the country. That don't bother me a bit. But I'm very hesitant to go speak somewhere when I ask somebody questions and they don't have any answers. That's like, have you really thought this out? Kind of thing. So I would absolutely travel. Rain Country said they used to have a small event in Rochester, Washington, but I do not know if they are doing it anymore. Yeah. Yes, the roots of a dandelion will break up extremely hard ground. Easy out. Easy. We'll see you. Have a great night. Because they aren't weeds, they have a purpose and a use. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the kind of what Beast's point was. You see, Midwest Renewable Energy Association in Custer, Wisconsin has a 2-day event every year in June. Yep. Let me see. Yeah, Tag, come out. Yeah, I mean, in the right event, I would come out, to do it. And, I don't charge to go speak. I go speak because I believe in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get, these places will pay for my hotel or whatever, but I mean, I don't make any money doing it. Yeah. And in fact, most people who've offered me money, I've turned down because that's not why I do it.
Right. No, there's our mission is
something different.
Something different.
Yeah. Because they are pioneer plants, their job is to fix problems with the soil. We destroy the soil, and those are the plants that can outcompete everything else in that situation. They are a healing mechanism, says Tabletop Farms. How cool is that? Yeah. I love you guys. You guys absolutely rock, and you make me so much better, Walk in Him Ministry says, I think the weeds grow better because of Cousin Adam and Aunt Eve. Yeah. Jovita, hello, says weeds are God's gift. Yep. That's the thing. Most weeds are useful, except bindweed and creeping buttercup. Hate those. Yeah. Deep South says weeds tell you that the soil is deficient. Mm-hmm. Right. Beautiful. Yeah. Maytag says, read about the phases of forest growth. Weeds heal the soil and restore nutrient balance for larger plants to grow, then trees, etc. Yep, because certain weeds can grow where there aren't enough nutrients or the pH is off for what have you. Weeds are natural fixes for bare soil. Yep. Yeah. Tabletop said they tried to give me money. Yeah, but I wasn't having it. And I'm not in Tabletop, but I'm going to tell you, the guy was so nice and wanted to give it to me, and I put it in my pocket. And when I left, the problem was your daughter was sitting in your truck. And so I took the money and gave it to her and said, nope, ain't happening. But I didn't want to argue with the nice guy because he was a really nice guy. And, but yeah, I don't do it for money. It'll never be about money for me. It's about how do we as a community come together? How do we starve the beast? And how do we take our country back?
You didn't tell me about that.
I didn't tell you about that. Nope. No, it was very nice of them, though. Ghetto says we have tons of purslane growing around us. It's delicious, believe it or not.
Yeah. Yep. I had one grow this last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tabletop says that was slick. Yeah. And I hope you guys take that money and donate it back to your community and put it in your community's treasury as a donation from Freesteading. Cul-de-sac says, I don't know if it's close enough to drive and go back home in a day. That's why I ask about the time. Yeah, it's close. It's close enough. I mean, it's close enough. I don't know how far it'd be for you, but it can't be more than, 2 hours or 2.5 hours.
Yeah. If you come to the camp out, then you can just stay the night.
Right. Which is what most people do. Rain Country says Genesis 3:18, thorns also and thistles shall bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. Yep. Yeah. Tabletop says we appreciate it, of course. Got to go, guys. Y'all have a blessed night. Horse Range Mountain Farm, good night to you, and I hope to see you in Georgia. Happy Friday from British Columbia, Canada. Living the Green Life. Hey,
wow.
British Columbia, Living the Green Life. There is somebody in, I believe they're still in here. We call her the Terminator, but My Crooked Little Homestead has a YouTube channel, but they're from British Columbia, I believe, right?
Ontario.
Oh, she's from Ontario?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I had y'all excited living the green life. I'm sorry. Yeah, One Step Closer. So One Step Closer is the guy behind the brains behind the UGS calculator. Yep, which is I think just a wonderful thing, and we're going to continue to adapt it and grow it. And by the way, One Step Closer, I want to tell you, I've already got some more ideas to talk about whether are you involved in the banking system, have you found a way to get out of that, and some ways to continue to expand it. One step also, I wanted to tell you, I'm going to show parts of that EGS or parts AGS. Oh my goodness. UGS calculator in my speech in Georgia.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show the world.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Wild lettuce is excellent to make pain medicine tincture. It will spread easily like dandelions. Cool. Yeah. You see, B, I did answer your email about the shipping, but I haven't heard back yet from you. That is why I asked if I can just get it at the festival. She's checking her phone, and you know what? We need to hammer her on this.
No, I think you said I will do that.
One step. It's good to see you too, bud. Will purslane tolerate zone 5? Yeah, there are so many amazing people in here that'll tell you that. We don't grow it, so I don't know, but yes, purslane is good to eat. Thank you, Hacks. You see, One Step, fantastic. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So we need to make sure we've got it right before I go down there, because I'm gonna be giving a speech about creating the parallel society, and I think this plays a big role in how to help people get free. And I can't say thanks enough to you, One Step Closer, because really you did all the work. You and I sat down. I told you what I thought was cool, and you just made it happen. Have you all watched Alba Weinman's new video today? She wrote the book, The Discourse. I have not, Stephanie. You know what, though? I'm going to, give me a second here. I'm going to write it down, and I'll watch it tonight. I'm going to watch the explosion in over Montana first, but then I'll watch it. I have not. Cool. Chickweed is a spring. I'm not good with these kinds of words. What's that word right there, babe? Ephemeral. And chickens love it. Very nutritious and spreads on its own. I'm here, still here, laugh out loud. Hey, Terminator, how are you? Sorry, I got where you lived wrong. I thought I might have had a friend for you that was in here. Spread the word tag. I'm going to spread the word. Evie says purslane will be great in zone 5. Cool. I know I can say that slugs, rust, and mud tolerate rain country. Well, I think rain country is pretty easy to tolerate because you guys are so smart, It's supposed to be a joke.
I didn't hear you.
Good, laugh.
Ha ha.
Thank you very much.
I didn't hear you. I was reading my email from cul-de-sac.
Okay, where am I at? Jewel is messing with me. Let me see. Jules, it's messing with me. Good night. Yep. Jules, you going to bed? I didn't see that. But yeah, good night.
Her internet is not working right.
Yeah, there have been some issues with that, kind of today.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, what else I got on my list here? Oh, hey, I had something I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I have been asked on numerous times to create a group on freesteading, a girls group. Okay, that the girls want to get together and talk about girl things, which, so you guys know, I'm super supportive of doing this. The problem is I don't know how to keep the boys out. I don't know how to do it, because the problem is I don't require someone to tell me what sex they are in the sign-up process.
Yeah.
And even if I did, there's nothing to say that it was truthful.
Well, and
so I don't know how to create this group for you guys that stays true to this group, because you guys know how boys are. We are taught to chase girls from a very young age.
Well,
and we chase them. I don't know how to. I just don't know how to get them out.
And sometimes they're just like, well, let me just see what they're saying.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, you guys are talking about holsters. Well, I can give my 2 cents about that. This is what I use.
Right.
And then you're like, well, that's and you do that to me too. Like, hey, try this out. And I'm like, I can't try a holster that goes right here. There's things there.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, but put it in the middle. It's like, I don't want one in the middle. You know, so there's just, you know, if you do one and guys come in, would the girls then I it's hard to say because they're trying to help, I think, for the most part.
Mhm.
But there's always that one who just wants to be a turd.
Mm.
And, you know, I don't know. I thought it was funny. I had said on there, you know, how do we keep the boys out? And somebody said, we'll just hang a sign that says no boys allowed. And I thought that was hilarious, you know, like on the front of a playhouse, you know, no
Mhm.
boys allowed.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be one that's going to
Yeah.
be like, let me just go in there and see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And then of course they're going to be like, well, I can give my 2 cents, and not realizing
Yeah.
that things fit us differently.
Well, I think there's more to it. I mean, Rain Country says, yeah, I don't feel appropriate talking about my lady parts and how to work around them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could create a private group. I probably shouldn't say this because I'll get requests up the wazoo, but I can create a private group on freesteading. But this problem is I still can't verify the gender.
Yeah. Well,
And I can't, you guys, I cannot.
I'm a boy.
Yeah. I cannot sit on the computer and monitor this all of the time. I mean, I get to spend an hour, maybe 2 with freesteading every day. I just can't do it any more than that.
Yeah.
There's not enough hours in the day. And so if someone will help me understand how I create a safe environment for you ladies, and how do we verify? I don't know. I just don't know how to do it. I mean, the Zoom thing made some sense. You guys were talking about earlier because you can require a video.
A video.
You'll
and
see.
You could see that you're
Right.
not a girl.
Yeah, get out of here.
But then you can't really kick people out, can you? in a
Well,
Zoom?
yeah, no, I think you could. I think if we made a ladies only group and we put 3 or 4 ladies as moderators, they could bounce them right out of there.
So Hippocrates can kick somebody out
Yes.
of his Zoom.
Yes.
I didn't know you could do
Yeah.
that.
But again, Zoom requires videos feed, right?
Yes.
Versus just a place to chit chat, and then you have to be
Yes.
there at a specific time versus being able to check in whenever you wanted.
Or, you know,
Um,
we could do it to where, you know, we could vet them. Like I would know, you know, 3 of those
Mm.
people on there that have gender neutral names, you know.
Yeah.
That we could go, okay, yeah, no, I know that they're on there, and then allow
Yeah.
that person in. Like they could prove it
Right.
outside
Right.
of that group,
Right.
and then we could just let them in that group once they have proven themselves.
Yeah. Well, I would
I hate
prefer.
to say it like that.
I would
but-
prefer not to use Zoom. I'd prefer not to use any of that stuff. I
Right,
prefer
right. No.
because here's the thing: we want to create an environment where this group, the ladies only group, has hundreds of topics in there that are related to the ladies,
Right,
where they can have open discussions, whether it's at 2:00 in the
Right.
morning or noon.
right.
They're not trying to be at a particular place, at a particular time, but I just have not figured out how to keep it safe and how to keep the boys out. Now, maybe the answer is that we find the best Nazi females we have as moderators, and they just rule the roost, and
Yeah.
I just stay out of it and don't even go in there.
yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know, but I just don't know how to keep it girls only. And if somebody can help me understand how to do that, or are the girls willing to just police themselves? And if a boy comes in there, kick his ass out. I mean, we can give moderator privileges, right? I'm super fine with doing that. I knew this question was coming. Will Be Cool says, are men going to get their own group too? Happy to. Absolutely happy to. But see, here's the thing. If we created a men group, the girls wouldn't join. They're fine.
Yeah, we don't.
Girls
care
aren't
what
like
we
that.
talk
Yeah,
about.
girls aren't like that. What I worry about is
It's a creepo.
right. And I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm not quite sure how to do it.
How to prove that you're
yeah.
female before you come in and talk about lady parts.
Yeah, Rain Country says just give all the girls a cast iron skillet. Yep, yeah, that actually might work, huh? FaceTime verified membership approval. Yeah, I don't.
FaceTime. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like you have
I
to
see.
FaceTime.
Okay.
Who said that? That was smart.
So if we created, I'm just thinking this through. If we created a private group, and then we had some volunteers for moderators,
Yeah,
where they could FaceTime and verify the membership
yeah,
prior to being allowed into the membership,
yeah.
then maybe we could keep it safe. Is this what you're saying, Johnny?
Yeah,
I
that
think.
makes sense.
I think.
The Johnny said it.
Oh yeah. It says AI can put a girl overlay filter over you in real time. Same with voice modulation.
Oh, even on a FaceTime where you're
I bet they
talking?
probably can. That's why I'm
Ah.
doing. Yeah, okay. Can a private group be created? Then they request to join. We currently know the girls. Well, you know some of them,
Some of
Potpourri,
them, but
but
there's
you don't know all of them.
14,900 and
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be new people that join every day, and we don't want them to feel ostracized or left out. You know.
well, and two, like, what if it's a husband and wife using the same,
Mhm.
you know,
Login.
Chris and Joan,
Yeah.
and they're using the same login,
Yeah.
but Chris wants to ask questions or
Yeah.
Joan or
Right.
whatever. Then you couldn't, and then he gets on there and goes, "Oh, you're
Yeah.
talking about hot flashes. That's stupid. I don't want to
Yeah.
hear."
Well, I mean, I don't want to go creating this group and it never get used because I couldn't keep the boys out. I mean, it's too, guys, it's work to do all of this,
A lot of work.
and so I don't mind doing it, and I'm happy to do it if we can figure out a way to do that. And I think nothing is going to be proof, 100% proof, right, guys? I mean, there's just no way, but we can do it. And then I think maybe we just get some moderators, and new ones are verified by FaceTime, which I think is, absolutely fine. I just want to keep you girls safe. And actually, even though the truth is you're probably fine, safe, I want to keep you comfortable.
Yeah.
And I want
you, yeah. And
'cause-
sometimes we love you guys, but sometimes your advice, doesn't pertain to us.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing, guys. The truth is, I wouldn't want to be in that room.
No, but
I don't want to have those conversations.
There are creepos out there.
Yeah. So Starla says she'd kick them out.
Yeah, I believe her too.
Yeah. Do invitation only, maybe. Yeah. I mean, that, One More Rock, that's an option, but I want the girls to feel welcome. And I would love to give you guys a place that you just felt comfortable to talk about girl things, which I'm telling you guys, I don't want to know anything about. But, we're going to have to create a pretty strong moderator base, I think. And, if there's a problem, you're going to have to let me know, because I promise you, I will not go in there and check. I just will not.
No, but you'll hear from it.
Well,
you'll hear from me.
Yeah. Someone can message me, but I'm not going in there. Yeah. And I think Rickster's exactly right. It says real men wouldn't want to spy on their ladies. It's not even really spying. It's that I don't want to betray that comfortable level. How cool is it if we could get 30 girls in there talking about how they, as women, starve the beast?
Yeah.
And how they take care of their needs. Yeah. Much like guys
That's
do.
what it would be, like taking care of our needs.
I'm 100% for it. We just got to figure out how to do it where you guys feel comfortable, Stephanie says safest thing is to just meet during the events. Yeah. Then for sure. Right.
Bro. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we could do some, private stuff, along those routes, but I would just love to give you guys the room you guys asked for. I just have not figured out how to do it. Again, we can create a private room. We can create some moderators. We can do all of this, but I just cannot assure you that something won't get through that unless the moderators are willing to do FaceTimes with each member or something, because I don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
There's just no way. So you guys are going to have to do it if, anyway, you hear those cast iron pants tag? Yeah, I do.
Cling.
Yeah, I do think that would be interesting. Make all of the ladies have the power to moderate. Yeah, and I'm 100% fine with that. And I'm hoping it don't create any problems, and I don't mean this mean what I'm about to say, but girls can be kind of clicky and catty. And, I don't like her and you're gone.
Yeah.
Right. When we get into some of that stuff, I would have to worry about. Hopefully we wouldn't get there. But One More Rock says, we could sniff out a creep, I bet you, pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you that's right. One More Rock, I bet you that's right. And maybe I'm reading into this more. Yeah, and Rain Country says some of us are just too far away to go to events.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and who would want to cross the Terminator one step closer, says. Totally agree. Not meant at all. It's just the truth. Yeah, cool. So maybe, guys, let's try this. So if you guys, if any of you guys are interested in or willing, that's a better way to say it, not interested. If any of you ladies are willing to serve as a moderator for a women's only private group, please email me or reach out to me on Freesteading. Let me do a little bit of digging, and I'll make an effort to get you guys your own place where you guys can talk about girl stuff. Because again, I'd really like to get there. You know, Mr. Rain says, what if I identify as a woman today? Well, it depends on if you can get through the moderators.
Yep.
Right? I don't care what you identify as. However, if you can get through the FaceTime or you can get through whatever those girls are doing, hey, more power to you as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You know, a few good real ladies that you can have moderate. Yeah. Oh, I know that you guys are out there for sure, but I don't want to dump something on you.
Yeah. If you want to be a moderator,
Yeah.
let us know.
Yeah. I don't want
and that way, those who are interested in it, we're not appointing them. That if you want to be, then you can be.
Yeah. Eagle Lover says, I want to be a moderator since it was my idea originally. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Eagle Lover, for those of you guys who don't know, I leaned on Eagle Lover amongst some other people, Jonathan, who's in here in the chat very early on at Freesteading, to help us try to understand what in the world it is we were doing, you know? And so there's a lot of you guys out there who are in here that, you know, I just can't say enough great things about, you know? Okay, hold on. I missed it. Mr. Rain said, my name is Pat.
Pat. I'm Pat. Well, I know a guy named Ashley, a guy named Stacy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Big Kid says it, Mr. Rain, then you don't belong here. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Tag, I sure would want to have it set up some way where you didn't hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
Get some trusted moderators whose word is final. Errors will be made, but it needs to be considered a free extra.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guys, I do not have time to moderate a girl's room. I'm telling you. I just do not.
Nor do we want you to.
No, and you guys don't want me to because I'll lose my patience in about 4 minutes and then it's all bad. I don't want to. I don't want to be involved in it. But at the end of the day, if you girls want to do it and you guys will moderate yourselves, you know, I would be open to creating it if there's interest in doing that, you know. Mm-hmm. One Step Closer says my grandpa and grandma were both named Beverly. That's weird. That's weird. Hey, Beverly, meet Beverly. I love you. I've been waiting for you my whole life.
Yep. Me too.
Me too. My friend's name is Tracy. He's 6'4".
Yeah.
Yeah. Never piss off a 6'4" guy named Tracy. Luckily, I left Roku on tag, and if you need Nazi mods, but I wanted to share an email real quick. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, Jules, the Washington Examiner had an article earlier today about EMPs and the balloons.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yep. I'm reminded that local municipalities do not moderate who gets to be part of the candidate debates. They ask the League of Women Voters to be their social firewall for those decisions. Yeah. You know what, Mr. Rain? Life is incredibly confusing. And what I can tell you is neither you or I belong to that girl's room. We just don't. Because if you're looking for clarification, that's the worst room.
Yeah, Heidi said, don't worry, I'll take care of Mr. Room.
Yeah, Heidi, we believe this to be true. Is Terminator going to bed? I didn't see that. Good night, Terminator. I hope all is well. Yep. You guys stay warm at your minus 45 degree weather up there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, crazy.
Man. That
could you imagine?
Cold. Well, we had a negative 45 here one night.
Yeah. Cul-de-sac says, I'm having so much internet trouble. Going to say good night. Good night, Cul-de-sac. I'll see you soon.
Yes.
Yeah. We have to create a girls' room with known girls, and then by invite only. The problem is with that, Sweet Savory Words, is when you get onto Freesteading. Let's say you're the brand new person. And how would you ever know? How would you ever get an invite if you didn't even know it existed? Right? And we have to find some way to encourage that community to grow, because the goal isn't to have a room with 6 girls in, some clique, Oh, Rain Country just gave me an idea. The Gnome Girls. That could be the name.
Yeah.
The Gnome Girls. That's actually pretty funny. That really is pretty funny.
That is funny.
Yeah. What's funny is, if you had left it to my own devices, I'd have named it like the Salon or something. You know how like all of the categories at Freeze, but it's the city and the barn and the
Salon.
whatever. But anyway, Would you invite your friends? Oh, you would invite your friends, says Hey Alabama. Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
And it would spread maybe a little bit slower like that, but the sewing circle says one step closer.
what is a salon? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've cut my own hair twice now.
Yeah, point taken, Rain Country. So, all of the rooms are called the something, right? We have the barn, right? The utilities, right? The church,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You have all of these, right? So the what describes the girls group, I mean, I could come up with a lot of things, but I would get in trouble.
That
so.
a guy doesn't want to go in, right? Because if you say the kitchen, he'd be like, ooh, food, right?
Yeah, the opinion.
The
The saloon, says Mr. Rain. The spa, says Lori.
The spa.
We can do the saloon for the guys and the spa for the girls. Ooh, the hive, says New Day Farms.
Oh, but then a beekeeper guy is going to be.
We're going to think that, right?
Oh, I want to learn about bees.
Right.
If you call it the salon, then guys are going to be like, I'm not going to no salon.
The hen house.
The hen house.
The crackling hens, that's what my dad used to call my sister. Oh, you guys are funny. Oh, my goodness. All right. Let me see. Kick the drones out. Let me see here. The hen house is a cute one. I like that. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Talk a lot. Pick a little more. Yeah, I like the hen house too. Yep. Oh, well, that's true. Rickster's got a good point. You could put the OBGYN and no man would dare enter.
You wouldn't think.
Or you wouldn't think. I would run.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I would run.
Yeah. You see a guy in there. Although wasn't it Johnny said that he had a guy that girl that just said that he was going to go see his gynecologist.
Oh, yeah.
And he had to laugh at him.
Weird. Yeah.
Like,
but Rickster does have a good point. I would run. But I don't think that's very it's a word I would use. Yeah. I think that would create unwanted attention for other reasons. I think I like the hen house best so far, because it's cute, but we're just gonna have to do some disclaimers, girls only / keep, whatever. And yes, boys out there, listen, I'm not leaving you out. If you want your own special little room, you let me know and we can absolutely talk about it.
That's funny.
Hey, next thing on my list. Okay, and you guys feel free to keep talking about, however it comes up and, cluck, 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 squawk, Mrs. Rain. Yeah. See, I like that. Yeah. We don't want to make the boys cry. Yeah. No, we're very sensitive, Heidi. Us boys are very sensitive. I know you know this. Starla says, see, I kind of agree with Starla. Starla says by invite only would be clicky.
Yeah.
And we don't really want that,
No, you should be able to invite somebody, because I could see somebody going, hey, wasn't there a girls thing? Yeah, I'll send you an invite. But you don't want it just to be like that. If I didn't get an invite, I want to be able to join on my own.
Or at least apply to join, right? I mean, at least sign up for it.
Yeah.
And then the moderators are going to have to take over and figure out
if I'm a girl.
Is this okay?
Yeah.
The quilting bee. The distaff of authority.
The bullpen for the guys.
Yeah, I wasn't crying. I was cutting onions in a dusty room while thinking about Old Yeller. Yeah. This is Miss Gypsy. Thank you all so much for the birthday recognition. You all are special folks. You are special, Gypsy. And we're glad that that we could do that for you. And just so you know, for the record, your husband put us up to it. Busted. The ladies' hen house. Yep. Potpourri for life. Good night to you. No clicks and no drama. I agree with that. I'd be willing to be a mod when I get my new phone. Okay. The Rickster says for men, the bar. Yeah. But men are different creatures.
Yeah.
Like we don't get
dirt and they'd all show up.
We don't get around and talk about our feelings. We just don't. Or at least I don't have any friends that do that with me. Maybe I don't have any feelings.
You think we're going to sit around and talk about our feelings?
Yes. I do actually.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, okay, next topic I had on my list today. Let me see here.
AOD.
Yeah, Johnny says laugh out loud. Yeah.
God.
I don't have a 9 to 5. I have time. Yeah. Yeah, I think that I know there's some good mods in here for you guys that will take great care of it. I have no doubt about that. I just don't want to babysit it. And if I get, an email that says Jenny was mean to me, she don't like me, and the girls are picking on me, I don't even know how I will deal with it.
My feelings. I need to talk to you about my feelings.
Heidi says we're going to talk about the boys and their feelings.
Yeah.
Evie says, laugh my ass off. Tag, you think homestead women talk about their feelings? Yes, I do actually. How do you think I know this? I married a homestead woman, Evie.
Do I talk about my feelings?
Yes, to me.
Oh.
Yes, you do.
You're so cute.
You don't talk about your feelings to me?
Do I?
Yes.
No, I don't have feelings.
Yeah.
You're like, suck it up. Them chickens ain't going to get fed on their own.
Evie says we're not 14-year-olds. I pray that's true. Yep. H asked the W, what did you all talk about tonight? W asked the H, what did you all talk about?
What did you guys talk about? What did you guys talk about?
Yeah, what feelings? Tad thinks it's going to be like a Lifetime cable channel special marathon.
Yep. It's like a...
I can help mod, and I'd be able to put in a bunch of time, though. Yeah, I don't think it needs a bunch of time. I think what it needs is a mod to get in there once a day, look over what the posts were, make sure that, there's no trouble, because I am very concerned about creepers. I just am.
Yeah.
I want you guys to feel safe. Safe is, maybe it's because B has me trained, but, to me, the most important thing to her, and she, tell me if I'm wrong, is that she feels safe in our home.
Yeah.
And safe with me and safe with what goes on around here. And, it's the top of the list.
Yeah.
And so I'm sensitive to these feelings. Look, feelings.
See there?
Maybe it's my feelings.
It's your feelings.
Maybe I'm projecting, right?
Yes.
Feelings.
Yes.
On you girls because I'm a tough guy and don't have any.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just reverse.
I think you're getting in touch with your feelings and you're thinking that.
No, all bullshit.
Yeah.
No.
You're projecting your feelings. It's
Yep.
okay. It's okay to come out every now and again.
Yeah. This is why I never told anyone Patrick was out of town last week. Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yep. I worry about that. B worries about that too. When I leave to go travel, which I do a lot, there's always someone over here. Someone comes over and stays with B. And
now I get a whole house full.
And now she gets a whole house full. Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay though, because your sister is amazing. She's like, I'll go do chicken chores. I'll cook dinner.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And her husband, Jeff, hand him a beer. He's a happy, quiet guy and just do his thing,
Yeah. He is a quiet guy.
Yeah. My feelings only show when I'm served a sandwich.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Johnny, you should get to know Garen from Grumpy Acres, because I think the first time I met him, he said something very similar. Yeah. Sweet Savvy Word says the hen house. I like the hen house too. I'll get with Bug Out Channel and
sandwich.
Yeah, Heidi's serving sandwiches.
Yep.
Okay, so I've been trying to get to this point for a little bit, but
good.
Yeah, it's okay, Tag. This is a safe space.
It's safe for you. Yeah.
You guys.
Can have some feelings.
Oh, you guys.
We still love you.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's funny. Nails, salon, psychiatry, tissues for your issues.
Yep.
Oh, anyway. All right.
Do you need a tissue?
So last week I wanted to say a special thank you to someone who is in the chat here tonight. So we received a nice donation to Freesteading. I want to let you guys know something. I knew what I was getting into. I don't ask for people to donate to it, but we're spending about $3,500 a month keeping the site up and running out of our own pockets. Now we do it because I think that it's worth the investment, and I like building community, and I think it's my way of giving back for all of the years that I didn't. And so it's cool, but I just want this person who's listening, I'm not going to name them, and I'm not going to name what they donated. I'm not going to do any of those things. but I just wanted to tell you that it matters, and way more than the money you donated. It matters that you just thought, and you said, hey, I appreciate this, and it means a whole lot to me. And I just wanted to tell you, the person who is in here, just tell you thank you.
It was unexpected and just shock.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful, so kind.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. So you know who you are. So I just wanted to say thank you to you. It was incredibly appreciated, but really the thought was the most appreciative part of it.
Yeah.
Because I knew you were thinking about us, and so I appreciate that.
Yep. And it went directly to
Free Study.
Yes.
Yep. Mr. Rain says Heidi was afraid of folks knowing I was alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe that Mr. Rain's a beefcake, right? What do you always tell me? You know, you keep you fat so nobody else wants you, something like that. You have some word you use. What is it?
I say, I'm not here to make you fat. I'm here to keep you from starving.
No, you say that too, but you also say, oh, you have some smart ass thing you say. I don't remember.
That I keep you fat so nobody wants you.
Yeah, or something. Yeah. Still, Ross says, I'm never alone. My dogs, my horses, and my chickens. Amen. Mm-hmm. Yep. Amen. Yep. Thank you, mystery person. Green Acres Women's Group.
Green Acres.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd make a Kardashian joke right here, but I think I'd get booed off the stage.
Acres?
No, about the girls' group would be more like that.
Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah. Anyway, what else we got here? Oh, real quick, talk about your B12 experiment.
Oh, so the chickens.
Yeah.
I had... What caused me to get I did one of the chickens, not the chicken that I had not the chicken that I stuffed on her foot.
Mm-hmm.
She died.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a chicken who her foot like curled under, mm-hmm. and she, I don't know, kind of got discolored, and it just kind of curled under, and she was just walking around on one foot, just hopping, I guess. And so she wasn't using that foot. It was just kind of curled up, mm-hmm. up to her. And in the Google machine had said that it could have been like a vitamin deficiency of some kind. And so I went to the tractor store and got some concentrated B12 liquid. And I just put that actually I put it in the community water because it said that it wasn't okay for everybody to have. And I'd never used anything like that before. And I was getting like 6 to 10 eggs every day. And I used it one day, and the very next day I got like 12 eggs. So I'd gotten more than I had all winter. And then I was the next day dumped the water, put some more in their water, and I am now, so what I was getting 6 to 10 eggs a day, I'm now getting like 11 to 14 eggs a day. So I don't know it has to be the vitamin B12, but because I'm not doing anything else different. But for all winter long, I was getting about, 6 to 10. And now I'm getting like 11 to 14 eggs a day. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that plays a role, but no, it's liquid. Mm. The B12 is liquid. Oh, powder. And it said, I think it was just B12 in a palatable base is what it said. So there was nothing else in it. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Hippocrates says, hey, Hippocrates, did you just send me an email tonight right before the live or during the live? I think I seen something pop up about this. Is anyone looking to do a rainwater harvesting, especially for indoor use? Let me know. I'm going through a masterclass to refresh my memory on a tool that helps identify optimum tank size, etc. Well, I think the whole group could benefit from that, Hippocrates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. That was you. I wanted to make sure it was you before I clicked it. And I had just seen it while we were on the live.
Yeah.
But I'd love to learn more about that. The time of year might have an effect on laying. The days are getting longer.
Oh, you think it's not longer by much, is it? What we're still, yeah, I guess, because it was I was doing chores at 4:30, then 5, now about 5:30. So that makes sense. I wouldn't think it would go up that much overnight though. I mean, because I've only been doing it for this week and but maybe.
Yeah. I was excited. I was getting 4 to 5 eggs a day, and today I got 10, says Milk and Honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do anything different, or is it just because of the days are getting longer?
Johnny says chickens lay more eggs if you put a light in the coop. Yeah, but because we're off grid, I don't like running stuff at night.
Yeah, and the winter gives them a break. So, and we have plenty for us to eat.
Yeah.
And share.
Yeah.
I mean, I give away a lot of eggs.
Yeah. Hey, one real quick. Sorry, quick.
No, go ahead. What?
I was going to say one other quick thing I wanted to mention tonight is I wanted to show you guys something.
Bam.
Okay. So a buddy of mine, he owns barbecue sauce. And so this is his Carolina Yellow barbecue sauce. Yella, sorry. Not from that part of the country. He's getting ready to release a red. And so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, getting ready to release a red. And we've tried this on rice and chicken, I think is what we had done, right? Or was it fish?
No, we did chicken.
And it was really, really good. But anyway, like-minded, free-steader, entrepreneur trying to start his own business. Bobby Q, you got a website or something you could put in the chat so that everybody can see it? And guys, I have no skin in the game, just a like-minded person. And guys know me.
Good.
And it's good, right?
We had gotten 2 bottles last time. He had sent us 2 bottles, and we gave one to Yoda to try.
Yep.
And she and G did a review on it. And then he just sent us 2 more bottles.
Yeah. Super, super cool. So we're going to try some recipes with them.
Didn't you wanted me to make potato salad and put
No, what I was curious is because, a lot of potato salad is mustard base.
Yes.
And that's a mustard base. I was just curious, could you make potato salad with it, and how would that tap? I like potato salad.
Yes.
I know, I'm a weird guy. It's cool.
Yeah. It would probably be good though.
Yeah. Hey, Alabama says Fortress Canine trains personal protection dogs and offers online classes for those who don't live close enough to attend. Yeah, cool. I met them when I was down in Tennessee. Heidi says, I think it's important to allow chickens to have their natural God-given break. Yeah, B agrees with that. Take them off the vitamin for a couple of days and see if it makes a difference, says Maytag.
Yeah, I didn't put it on. I didn't give it to him today. And I got 11 eggs today.
One Step Closer wants to know if Bobby makes a spicy sauce. We'll let Bobby answer that. Milk and Honey said they did nothing different. Rickster, I need a bit of lead time as I try to find and download 30 years of daily precipitation and temperature data. Oh my goodness. First year chickens will lay all winter. 2-year-old chickens will cut back laying eggs when they molt and winter comes. Too hard on their bodies to grow new feathers and lay eggs. That's a great point. Many videos now about chicken feed problem and egg laying. Many name the Tennessee-based chain as the prime suspect.
Well, we get our feed from the co-op here.
Yeah, we buy it from the co-op. But I want to produce it on my own property.
Well,
and I want to produce it without having to plant anything, if I can.
Well, yes, that would be
right. Low
that would
input.
Be perfect.
All right. Tater salad. Yeah.
I'm going to check the fire.
Yeah, go ahead. I do, but not launching just yet. Probably in the next month. It's good on everything. Yeah, Bobby, I'm gonna try it on some potato salad. I just want to try it. But Bobby, keep coming on here, and when you get your website launched and you get there, let me know. We'll definitely at least just get it out there and let people hear it, and maybe put an ad on Freesteading or something for you. But we really appreciate the support, and it's neat. Stuff shows up at my house all the time, and it's just super cool. You guys rock. Let me see here. Pockery says, just not something I can accomplish start to finish on one Zoom call without putting people to sleep. Yeah. That's why we don't go for 4 hours. That's why our limit is 3 hours, because at 3 hours and 1 minute, everybody falls asleep. If you want a set amount of eggs every year, every spring, get some chicks and they will keep you flushing eggs through the winter. Yeah, Evie. So what we do is because we hatch all our own everything. So in March the 1st, we'll put our first eggs in the incubator. We'll incubate them, try to get them under a broody mom, when it comes time for them to hatch. But every 21 days, we will incubate. She's got 2 incubators of 24 eggs. So we'll drop 24 and, hatch about 20 of the 24. And we'll do that every 21 days all the way through September, because out here we free range a lot and there's a lot of predators. So I bet you we're going to lose. What did we lose last year? Maybe 8 or 9 chickens, 10 chickens maybe to predators, last year. So that's how we do it. Rickster Barbecue, will you do a white barbecue sauce? Honey Sweet Heat is the third. Oh, wait, sorry, buddy, I lost you. Is the third flavor coming soon as we can. And thank you, guys. Guys, doing business together matters. My pecan trees even have to have a break. Yeah, Miley, that's a good point. Looks like they may have shot down the balloon on the donkey. Looks like Big B, it looks like they have shot down the balloon. Where'd they shoot it down at? Have you heard anything? Newsflash, Secretary of State postpones visit to China. Ooh, that's a big one. Tag, we could do shift changes to keep you guys up all night. Yeah, you guys could, but I couldn't handle it. B's a lot tougher than I am. She might be able to handle it, but we see Purina seems to be the brand many folks have narrowed it down to. Purina does Tractor Supply Company, Do More, and Producer's Pride, or named something like that. Can't remember the name. Guys, I think it's important we just do our own. And we just figured out, I'm going to try this to make some Lespedeza pellets. Or something along those lines. And I'm kind of sold on the pellet idea because I can dry them. I can keep them from molding. I can do all of that stuff for the winter, because the truth is in the summer, we barely have to feed them. I mean, my chickens free range, a whole bunch of land, and they've got ponds and they've got all kinds of stuff that they can go get into, It's funny to see one running across the property with a mouse in its mouth or a frog in its mouth or whatever, but I need to figure out how to store it through the winter, and maybe even be able to store it for 2 or 3 years in advance. That would even be better. Billy Bond has a plan to feed your chickens without feed. Do you have a school district near you could do a chicken tractor thing with their inputs? Yeah, but I don't know, maybe I'm a little weird about this, but I don't know that I want my chickens eating the school food. Man, that sounds bad, doesn't it? Yeah, Rickster says just drink espresso. Nope. About noon or 1, I got to be done with the caffeine, and then, well, I guess caffeine, I'm drinking chocolate milk, right? But I quit drinking coffee about noon or, maybe 1 o'clock. It does sound bad, but it is true. Yeah. I started making my own grade seed scratch blend last week. My chickens started laying after 2 days. They stopped laying in September. I did suspect the Tractor Supply Company feed I was buying. Yeah, guys, I'm working on a Tractor Supply Company video right now. But I'm a weird guy about that. I think one of the worst things we can do is accuse a company that was innocent. And so I'm going to make sure I have dug deep into it and that I understand everything. And I've researched every single board of director, a lot of their transactions. I can tell you where they donated their money politically, to which party. I can tell you what, causes they were involved in. And so I've been looking at all of that stuff, but I want to make sure that I've done all my research before I, call out a company like that. A couple videos coming out of Montana, supposedly. Looks like they may have triggered an EMP. Uh-oh. That would be a gigantic thing, Big B. If they hit us with an EMP, it's on. I mean, it is literally on. And yeah, black coffee and water all day, every day. Steel rods. Yeah. I'm a big coffee drinker. You can ask a grocery store too. They throw out a lot of produce. Yep. Get scraps for a health food store if you can. Yeah. The thing is, guys, is I don't want to be dependent on a foreign source. I want to do it here if I can, because if I've got to go and get it and I've got to be dependent on it, and then they're not doing it anymore, or they decide that it's illegal, I can't do it anymore. Now I'm back to square one trying to create it. I want to be in charge of their diet. I want to be in charge of their food. I want to be in charge of how we produce it. I've got plenty of land to do it. I've just got to figure out how to do it without a lot of input, Does anyone know who won the truck from Doug and Stacy? Yeah, I have no idea. No idea. There's a good recipe with black oil, sunflower seeds, peas, and some other ingredients. The goal is to keep the protein at least 16%. Yeah. This is why I thought about Lespedeza, because it's 18. Evie says, "Oh no, I'm not trashing Tractor Supply. They source it out to Purina and make their own brands." Yeah, and Evie, I wasn't suggesting you were. All I was saying is I'm going to release a video on Tractor Supply, and I'm not even going to put my opinion on it. I'm just simply going to state the facts. You know, people in our area having trouble with rabbits not reproducing. They suspect it's the feed. Yeah, I think we need to control our own inputs, and I don't even know how much of this stuff is true. You know, but I think that would be a good thing. You know. Fair point, Tag. The kids might be eating Z-bugs soon, so the chickens will dig that cricket powder in the cafeteria hot dogs. Right. Or antibiotics, or, you know, I mean, who knows what type of, you know, pharmaceuticals, right? And, you know, stuff to, who knows, you know, who knows? Don't have a lot of faith in it. So is there a store in Freesteading? No, but people are super welcome. Well, when you say, is there a store, do you mean a store? Like there's an apparel place where you can buy clothing, right? Like a t-shirt or something, but there's not a store. We want to build, Sweet Savory Words, a marketplace. The problem is I was way ambitious about doing this until I started talking to the attorneys. And what I've learned is that if you, Sweet Savory Words, if you sell a gallon of milk to Susie, and Susie gets sick from that gallon of milk, even though I never touched the gallon of milk, I wasn't involved in any of it other than I facilitated the transaction, I can be held liable. Which then that means that, you know, my very livelihood, my home, everything that I worked so hard could potentially be attacked. So I'm trying to work through that, so I'm not sure which one you mean. Nix Ferguson taught us how to grow fodder, etc., for our future livestock. Yeah. See, I think, Mandy, you're onto it. I think that's the answer, is how do we do it for ourselves? I think of Ocan figure the ratios for the chicken feed that would be good. Let me see here. Rick says in winter, chickens need at least 22% protein. Danny and Wanda talked about it last live, I think. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't want to feed my chickens Lespedeza primarily. I just want to know, can I use it? You know, can I mix it in with, you know, sunflower seeds and other things? Can it be a protein source? Washington Examiner, dry run balloons called top delivery platform from nuclear NPM. Yeah, that's the same article I read from earlier today, Pack Rat. And I'm becoming more and more concerned about this. And, you know, EMPs, like I said, you guys know from, you know, just talking to me, I know an absolute ton about EMPs. I studied it in depth, and it would be catastrophic if any of that was to happen. Fine Nymph YouTube channel recently did a video a couple weeks ago on how she makes her own chicken feed blend. Yeah, she's on Freesteading, actually. I'd actually like to get to know them better. Kudzu is a really good source of protein. Cool. Amy B, good night all. Amy, good night to you. Let me see here. Okay. B went down to stoke the fire so we don't freeze at night. Although we wouldn't freeze, but anyway. I was going to ask you guys, and particularly this question's for the Rickster in here, because he's kind of taking a little bit. Hey, Glenn, how are you? I'm taking a little bit of a lead on it, but how are we doing on the recipes to do the cookbook? Are we filling up? Is there enough recipes in Freesteading, guys? I haven't looked. You know, I can't track each conversation that goes on. There's just too many of them. But are we getting to a point where we can start thinking about, you know, actually creating a cookbook, or is it still got a lot more room to grow? Somebody advised me. You'd think I'd know that, right? But I don't know it. I got a good brisket rub recipe. Yeah, there's a discussion in Freesteading about recipes, and what we thought we would do is that all of you guys would participate, and then eventually what we would do is we'd take those recipes, we'd put it in a Freesteading cookbook, and then get it out there, you know, and sell it. Maybe that could help fund Freesteading a little bit. Maybe, I don't know what we would do with it totally, but Bobby Q wants to know, do you need recipes? Well, yeah, I think the more the better, right? I think it'd be cool to create a Freesteading cookbook. You don't want my recipes. Do they?
Do you have recipes?
I do.
Like lettuce omelets?
Like lettuce omelets. Hey, you know what? Your husband made you omelets. I didn't get it right. I put lettuce in it because I knew you liked lettuce.
What I don't understand is how you could be so good at flipping the omelet. Like you just do that just so perfect, and it just boop.
Because girls like guys with great skills, like nunchuck skills.
Yeah, but
and
if you've never
sword-fighting
been in the
skills.
kitchen, how do you know how to do that?
Omelet skills. It's because of my great nunchuck skills.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Right?
No.
It's my nunchuck skills. Bobby says he's got a great gumbo recipe. Yeah, I think, again, I'm waiting for Rickster in here to comment because he was kind of leading that charge, I think. But I think it's really cool to create one, you know? Let me see. Maytag says, just when you think you got the range gear clean and the cat sneezes snot all over your stuff.
Really?
Yeah, nice. Yep. Your stuff is not clean, Jonathan.
Not now.
And you know what's funny? I could totally see him going, like,
Come on, man.
Rickster, it's about half. If you add the recipes chat too, we need 60 more recipes to make a good book. Okay, cool. Milk and Honey says, I make amazing salsa. You guys get on to Freesteading and put your recipes in there. I'm telling you, we're going to create a book. And I told everybody, I made them a deal that if they came up with the recipes and someone's going to have to, you know, put them in a document and all of that stuff, that I would go out there and find a publisher. And then we would find a way to create the first ever Freesteading cookbook.
That'd be cool.
Which will be, you know, created from a whole bunch of homesteaders, right? I mean, you just made squash bread tonight, right?
With walnuts.
Yeah.
And honey and maple syrup.
Makes me think about what could be inside the blip and balloon. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know, guys. There's something weird about this balloon thing. I don't know what it is. I'm going to study a bunch. When we get off here tonight in another 30 minutes, I'm going to totally study it and see if I can come up with some answers. Let me see. My wife has an amazing chicken marsala recipe.
Oh.
Yeah, get that on there. Evie says, laugh out loud. Guys like to show off. That's why they flip so well. They see how they handle the ringer on the off-grid washer, laugh out loud. Come on, guys, show us how well you do that. No, my skills are nunchuck skills and flipping skills.
I just don't know how you can get that so perfect.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I can flip an omelet.
Just fine.
Yep. I
cannot.
Yep. Yeah, it's upper body strength might have something to do with it too.
Yeah, and my
because
muscles
you know that,
are tired.
Yeah.
Do that again?
That's all it is. It's a flip. What would be very cool? I'd buy a recipe book with all these good recipes. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, I would too.
And really for just the nostalgia of it coming from the first ever Freesteading Series 1 cookbook, right?
Yeah.
And to have it as part of this grand experience in free speech and building community that none of us know where is going. I don't know.
My recipe book is getting pretty old.
Yeah. One Step Closer, who used to be my buddy, says, I got a great squash soup recipe tag.
I would like that because all the squash soups I have seen, and I have not made you squash soup. And you kind of like the bread, the cake, I think. A little.
Yeah, I like the cake.
You took 2 bites.
Yeah, well, it's because I'm on the live. I'm not going to.
Yeah, but I brought it up to you half an hour before.
No, you brought it up to me 4 minutes before.
It was not 4 minutes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
And you were in the army. You could like eat that stuff in 2 bites.
I could, but tonight I'm with my people and I don't want to eat.
I meant before the live.
I will eat it.
4 minutes. You could have been like, boop, boop.
Evie says, make the Freesteading cookbook spiral bound. We will, 100%. I won't do it any other way. And then also she says that she would do the artwork for the cover. Yeah, I'm in. 100% in.
Good.
Please add some recipes, B. Yeah, you got to get some recipes in there, B.
On the Freesteading, I was actually looking for Rain Country's chocolate recipe the other day. I went and got and I could not find recipes on there. You'll have to show me.
Yeah.
Because you know where they're at. Don't look at that. 17 messages. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. How about selling things is not food or consumable items like farm equipment, etc. on Freesteaders?
Yeah. Barter
that would bypass the law so that it won't hold you guys liable. Mandy, this is only partially true because the actual case study that's being used in the court right now has actually had to do with a battery. and it was Amazon. So seller sold a customer a battery. Amazon never touched the battery, and the battery blew up and called blindness, and they've successfully sued Amazon, and then Amazon appealed the court ruling, and now it's in the upper courts. So probably we might be able to do that, just no electronics, no livestock, no that. But then now we're getting into a whole other problem, which is, well, I thought this was freesteading. That will create a whole nother issue as we go down the road. So I can totally help with the recipe. Sounds like a great project. Thank you, Bobby Q. The ladies could start a ladies cookbook all in one. Yep, I have a good lamb meatloaf recipe. Oh, cool. Do you have a backup heat source? And about how much wood do you need for the winter? Yeah, so every winter is different, Richard. And so we have 4 fireplaces in our house. Well, 4, some type of fire burning. So like she's got a cook stove in the kitchen. We have a fireplace in the living room. The one bedroom upstairs has a fireplace. The other bedroom has a wood burning stove. So I also have mini splits, which, they have heaters in them. I have 9 head units throughout the rooms in the house. And then I've plumbed it all and have everything ran, all the ductwork ran, and the lines ran for a backup propane furnace. But I've just never bought the furnace because we've never needed it. And I'll get around to that at some point. I think this year we're going to burn, if I was going to guess, we're going to burn about 6.5 cords of wood all the way through the winter would be my guess. But I'll tell you a lot better when we get through the rest of this month, because if we get into another minus 30, let's say, that burns a lot more wood. If it stays in the 40s like it is now, we burn a lot less wood.
I love it when it's in the 40s.
Yeah. Kitchen skills gets the girls. Our youngest son made brownies for 4-H one year. He was 10. The judges saw him crack eggs with one hand, and all the ladies loved it. Yeah. Here comes rain country. You can't eat cake in front of your people.
Yeah.
No, I could.
It's squash cake though.
It's could. But here's the thing: is that I'm involved, right? But yes,
well, I expected you to eat cake before, like we sit down to dinner, and
I got 2 moms.
We sit down for dinner. She says you can't eat cake in front of your people. Not you can.
I just did.
He sits down to dinner and he's done eating before I've taken like my 4th bite.
Mm-hmm.
Like he just boop, 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 gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I brought the cake up expecting him to be gone in 2 bites. And it wasn't, probably because it wasn't, creme brulee or something.
Okay. So here's the thing. I was a soldier.
Yeah. You put the dry stuff in your pockets.
Yeah. So what you learn to do in basic specifically, and some of the combat training schools, is they don't give you a lot of time. And every day, like when I would go to the mess hall, one day they would start with the A's. So the people whose last name was an A got into the mess hall first. If you were a Z, you were just getting your plate and you were done. They were calling you out.
Oh, everybody still got the same amount of time?
Exactly.
No matter what,
nope.
What time you sat down?
You had the time limit from the time the first person walked in to the time the last person walked out. And so they rotated how it went around. So I was in the middle because of my last name. So I was always smack in the middle of it. So what I figured out how to do was anything that was not mushy or was solids, I just stuff them in my pockets. And then I'd eat them when I was running. So I would be slopping up all the, anything that was wet, anything you wouldn't want to put in your pockets in an effort, because tell you something about the military, you're always hungry. There's never a time you're not hungry.
Yeah.
So, okay. Evie says, Tag, we need a recipe place on freesteading site so we can put them all in one place. We have one, Evie.
For what? The recipes? Say that again?
The recipes, yeah. A place.
Yeah.
We have one. There's Rickster. There's a cookbook thread. Rickster, what's the thread called, or the discussion called for the
Because that's what I was recipes, looking for. Yep.
I'm going to watch Marfugel tonight. If he's on, see what he's heard about the balloon. Yeah, Marfugel is a very interesting channel. I know, Dex and Adam had a lot of conversation with them over the years, and they're an interesting channel, and they will certainly come up with a lot of the alternative stuff. Yep, Rickster thread on freesteading. Yeah, what's the thread, Rick, on the recipes? B, may I ask where you got the dwarf Cherokee purple tomatoes? I have been writing them down, the recipe, that is.
from Buffalo Seed Company.
Yep. Starla, just contact the Buffalo Seed Company. It's all you got to do. They've got them.
Mhm.
Ghetto, please add a substitution section. Like instead of eggs, you can use applesauce. Oh, that's cool.
Mhm.
A quart-
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. A quart of wood in Texas during the freeze was $750.
For 1 cord.
Oh my goodness. Rain Country
Let's
says,
put that-
I'm just
where's
giving
my
you a hard
pencil?
time because I never eat on camera. No, you're not giving me a hard time, Rain Country. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something, Heidi. I've actually come to expect it from you. And I like it. I promise you, you give me a hard time all you as much as you want. I'm good with it. And I'll poke back.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yep. I don't mind it at all. You keep giving me a hard time, Rain. I love that you're here. I love what you do for the community. B, we need more wood cooking. We need more wood cooking.
Mhm.
You did another short tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, I forgot to post it.
The squash for dinner,
squash.
squash for dessert. We having squash for breakfast?
We could. How about brunch? How about French toast squash?
Oh my goodness. Maybe only pointers to a separate server hosted by a different business entity in a neutral country, separate corporate entity. Try to sue Gerhard in Iceland if their courts will ever hear it. Yeah, I'm worried about all that. See, Coastal Redwood says our hardwood's $350 a cord in Northern California.
How much is a cord here? We cut our
200.
That's what it is now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, about 220 bucks maybe delivered. Let me see. Overmilk sickness or seeds that don't germinate. I would like to see a condiment recipes. Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
I'll write that down too because I put substitutions because I have some substitutions.
Yeah, because B makes ketchup and all kinds of stuff. Mayonnaise, and so we can do all that. Yeah. I wait for those spring storms and pick up all the hardwood on the curb. Yeah, that's smart. Free firewood. Yeah. Johnny, now here's free wood all over the ground from the ice breakage. Yeah. Homemade mayo is great. Yeah, homemade everything's great.
Yeah.
Coastal Redwood said they harvest all their own wood for free. Yeah, I'm reluctant to do it, Coastal. And you guys tell me if I'm wrong or if I look at this differently. I'm reluctant to use my own resources because I want them to be there when I need them.
Well, we're using the stuff that we cut down.
Well, but here's the thing. I'm not in the woods cutting trees down.
No, but after we go through the wood that we did cut down for the pond, there is so many trees that are
dead and leaning over. Yeah, so we'll go cut all of those out, but then I will start buying firewood.
Yeah,
because I want to make sure my forest is big and strong and healthy. So when the day comes, I can't get firewood.
Yeah,
I look at it like, how they talk about prepping and storing food on the hoof.
Yes,
I'm storing energy on the root,
and we are planting more trees as we're cutting trees down too.
Yeah, David the Good is also a book publisher. It's called Good Books. He publishes lots of books. I didn't know that, Carolyn.
Good Books.
Good to know.
Huh.
Yeah, good to know. I did not know that. Milk and Honey just made homemade mayo. Yeah, put a recipe out there. Not my property. Ooh, Coastal Redwood Homes. I like that. Yeah.
What? Not my property.
So Coastal Redwood Homestead was saying that they harvest all their own wood for free.
Oh, but not from their property.
But not from their property. Yeah, see, that's smart. I think if we can burn through everybody else's, that sounds so mean.
But if they're cutting it down already, that growing up, that's what we did. Somebody would call my dad and say, "Hey, I got a couple trees that I want to, to be removed," and they would cut them down, and then we would come in behind them and pick it up.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. We're not burning through somebody else's. Yeah. My mom, she rents, and they went and cut down the trees in the front yard, and they just stuck the wood and they just left it. They cut it and they left it.
Yeah.
And she was like, "If you want this, come and get it." I'm like, I'm not putting that in my Jeep.
This is the deal. So Coastal Redwood Homestead said $20 for 10 cords from the forest department, and we have enough wood. Oh my goodness. I would love a deal like that. Yeah. Stephanie says, grow willow. It grows fast and is good for chop and drop. Yeah, willow is an amazing plant.
Yeah.
And we've grown a lot of willow, and we have it growing here on the farm too. And there's so much more to it. I mean, we can make aspirin out of it. Right? It's a painkiller. And it does grow fast. You want a really fast windbreak or, any of that stuff sucks a lot of water.
And it doesn't produce cotton, right?
But,
the cotton trees, you got the cotton that actually floats in the air.
Yeah, the cottonwoods. Yeah, but I really like
the willows.
The willows, yeah.
I love a weeping willow.
Okay.
Can you do the same thing with the weeping willow?
Yeah, just gotta go find one and just take a clipping off of it, and then stick it in some water, and it'll grow some roots and
just
put it in
like
the ground.
the willows.
Just like the willows,
and
yeah.
Cottonwood.
The state workers cut down trees and leave the logs, and anyone can take them. We spend the summer picking them up, and then we split them on our property. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I used to sell wood cut, split, and delivered for $25 per cord in the mid '80s.
Wow.
Richard, are you still in that business for $25 a cord? Because let me tell you, I will keep you so busy. If you are trying to condition your soil for next year, cover your ground with wood chips, not mulch. Yeah, so we do all of it. So I'm actually getting ready to get a whole nother load of chips. The chipping companies around here now know we're here. So they've been dropping off loads of wood chips as they go around and chip. But I also got today, that was a pretty good score. The energy company is replacing all the poles around us and asked if they could dump them all off on my property. So I gave them a place to dump all the old telephone poles. And so I don't know what we're going to use them for, but we're getting a bunch of telephone poles. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Last time we got telephone poles, though, we used a couple, and then, we used several in the coop.
Yeah. Yeah.
The run. I guess.
Yeah. I'll use them for all kinds of stuff.
And
the
then
gardens.
we had other people who came up. Oh, that's true. And then we had other people who needed a couple. They came and got.
Yep. Yep. Let me see. Evie says, I used to get my firewood from the state park next to my property, cheap, nearby, and easy to pick up and cut. Yeah, I love this deal. I wish we had that here. One step closer, you're being asked to share something. I'm not sure what it is, but Silver Linings asking. I'm in East Texas in a mill. They will let you fill your truck for $35. You have to do the labor already. Cut, just grab the size you need. Yeah. ACM Homestead, good night to you. The Richter says, Tag, you missed my post twice now. I'm sorry, man. Richter, put it in caps.
Well, where
I have no idea what I have no idea. Be at the Forest Department, yeah. Osage
he ignores
for the max.
Me too, Richter.
Yeah. Osage for the max BTUs. Yeah, B actually, you'd laugh, Johnny. Well, I don't know if you'd laugh. You go back to where we store our wood. She has stacks of different types of wood, and she uses them for different things. So like the Osage, she saves for cooking.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only thing we use it for. Because when she's trying to get the oven up to a particular temperature or whatever it is, so we use it as firewood. We don't use it to heat with much, unless it's like really, really cold. We'll throw one on there.
Yeah. Or if it's first thing in the morning and I'm trying to get the coffee done because you need to go and you're like, when's that going to be done? I'm like,
Yeah, it's interesting living off grid. Things just something as simple as coffee. It's not as easy as it used to be in my previous life. I'd get up, I could roam into the kitchen.
A timer.
Yeah, and she'd put it on a timer and an outlet, so it would start by itself, do it by itself. I'd get up, get me coffee, go to the shower. But now it may be an hour before by the time when I'm awake before the coffee's ready.
Yeah, it depends on if the fire went out the night before and
and
then if I had the coffee pot ready, because I try to get the coffee pot ready and set it off to the side so that all he has to do is just drag it over to the hot spot. But
Johnny says, Evie, I would not burn it in a house. And I think they're talking about Osage. We burn it in our stove all the time.
You're talking about Osage?
Yeah, in our wood cook stove.
It says, burns too hot.
Yeah,
if uses firewood. The pieces that we use are all small. We cut them real small.
Yeah. And they're to add for heat. We never just stack Osage in the box and then light it.
No.
It would get way too hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plenty of free firewood in Central Texas right now. Yeah, I've heard this. Just now, my wife did a ta-da motion and pointed toward her laptop. She has her own freesteading account. Oh,
nice. What?
Mrs. Packrat. What is Mrs. Packrat's name? We'd love that, Tag, you're one lucky man. You have a pretty smart wife. I do have a pretty smart wife. Yep. Coastal says we only use wood for heat. That's what we use too. I have other sources, but really just don't use them. Telephone poles, ideal for fence posts, especially corner posts. Yeah, out here, I'd rather use the hedge posts. I save those for the corner posts because they're just once you put them in, you're never going to get them out. You know, you're never taking them out. They're there forever. I like the poles for other things like putting up pole barns and, you know, I don't know. You can make some raised planting beds. Who knows what we'll do with them? But and I'll take all of them. Yeah, Heidi says, "Yep, same. We always make coffee on the wood stove, and some mornings it can take a while." Oh yeah, and Heidi. I love my coffee in the morning, and there are times that I'm like eyeballing it.
Yeah, you love your coffee all day long.
Well, not all day, but a lot of the day.
Yeah, the best part of it.
Yeah, I enjoy my coffee.
Yeah,
but
and then you switch to
life.
chocolate milk.
Yeah, it's the life we chose, though. You know, my freestanding app crashed after I posted those updates. I don't know what crashed means. You mean it won't open anymore? I don't know what that means. Coastal Redwood by crashed. Thank you guys. Good night, Mandy. Have a great night. Osage makes great fence posts and will last for decades. Yeah, that's what we.
Yeah.
When I cut an Osage tree down, we try to cut all the posts out of it first, and then what's left over gets cut into little pieces that she then stacks and uses for, again, getting her oven up because she's got to cook a turkey and it needs to be 400 or whatever.
Well, all baking should be at 350, 400, 375.
Yep.
So that you're not just dehydrating it.
Yeah.
So
a watched pot never boils. Oh, Mr. Rain.
There you go.
Oh, Mr. Rain. That is so true. And I eyeball it seriously, you know.
Well, it percolates, so you can hear it.
I know, but
there's a couple of times in the nighttime I had gotten up and stoked the fire, and you were like, "What's that noise? Is that the coffee?"
Yeah.
Like the coffee, I'd gone downstairs and put something in the stove, and it had gotten hot enough to where the coffee started percolating before. I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Does it just makes it stronger, right? If it percolates
all night long. Fine by me. Let it percolate.
Yeah, because there's days where he pours it out and he's like, that could take a little bit longer. Or there's days where he goes to pour it and I'm like, oh man, that's black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes you pour it and you can kind of see through it, and sometimes you pour it and you cannot see through it.
Yeah, I prefer the kind you can't see through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The kind you have to like drink with your teeth closed.
Yeah, that kind. Welcome to my world. Chiochi says, if you live in the country, the local transfer station has a section to dump brush with a section just for logs and anyone can take some. Yeah, we have that here. But here's the problem is the way they do it here, they just mix it all in together and you got dirt. And I really don't want to take my chainsaws and dig into the dirt and all that. And I haven't had that big a need for it because when we did the pond, where my pond is today, my big pond, it was solid woods.
Yeah.
I have a lot of wood down and we're still trying to get through it. I still have piles and all over my property that we'll cut up as the years come on, you know. Mill the poles into lumber. Yeah, that's it, Mr. Rain. I'll look at doing that. I haven't seen them all yet. Depends on how many nails are in them, right? I don't want to run a pole through that's got a bunch of nails in it because then that hurts the sawmill. But we're going to take a look at it and figure out what to do with it. We'll come up with something. If you have your solar power, grab an electric kettle for morning coffee. Yeah, see, it just depends on how much power I use the night before, where my batteries are at. Because I could. Here's the thing, guys.
In the summertime, we use the
electric
coffee pot.
Yeah, all the time.
Every day.
Yeah.
But then again, we've got sun from 5:30 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. So
right.
We go. We do anything we want all summer long, basically. But in the wintertime, we have less sun.
Yeah. Okay. So let me see if you have solar power. Yeah. Okay. We did that one. It said that if I don't restart the app, I could get a virus and the whole screen turned white. Okay. So what I would do, Coastal Redwood Homestead, uninstall the app.
Yeah.
Just go to your phone and uninstall it. And then once it uninstalls, reinstall it and see if that helps. Because I've not heard that, but that sounds like to me that you should just reinstall it. Polls, says Mr. Rain. Yeah. Her username is Romans828 girl. Thanks for asking. Yeah, cool. So, hey, everybody, Romans828 girl on Freesteading is Packrat's wife's name. Let's go and make sure that she knows she's loved and reach out and connect to her. Stephanie says, Rickster, I don't see your post show. Yeah, and I don't either. So I removed the app and going to reload it. Yeah, try that. I like my coffee like I like my women, cold, dark, and bitter.
Who said that?
One step closer. Yep. One step. But I have to tell you something. I'm going to be visiting with you and your wife in Tennessee. And how would does she have a sense of humor? I mean, could I walk up and
be like,
say,
"Oh,
"Hey,
cold,
what's
dark."
up, cold, dark, and bitter"? Or would she take super offense to that? If you can't stand a spoon in your coffee, it's not done. See, me and Mr. Rainey get along perfectly.
Gross.
No, but he's right. It's better like that.
Yeah.
It is.
Eek.
Yeah. Hey, Alabama. We'll see you later too. Nothing like food cooked on a wood stove. Yeah, we love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you, Evie. Right. This time of year, especially for us, we do not have any solar power left in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this time of year, ours runs pretty low too. Not always. Just depends on what we're doing. Like Friday nights when we do the 3-hour lives, I can run into those issues.
Tomorrow we're not supposed to get sun, but just a little bit in the afternoon. So.
Yeah, but it'll charge.
Yeah, it charges even when it's cloudy, but it just doesn't charge fast.
Yeah, let me see. What do we got here? I have my mom's stainless steel coffee pot, boil water in the bottom part, pour through the top. Yep. Miley says, tag, what else is on your list? Oh.
Thank you, Miley.
Yeah. You know what, Miley, thank you for keeping me on track.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to.
You should be a manager somewhere at a company, keeping stuff, tracking right along.
She's got her hands full trying to keep you on track.
Yeah. How do you do with keeping me on track?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, so I asked this before, but I'm going to ask it again, which is, we're getting ready to start construction on a community building. And I am so excited about this. When I went down to Tabletop Farms, and we went to their community, they had a community building.
Oh, and yeah, he took pictures.
I took pictures of it. It was so cool, man.
Look at this.
Yeah. And so I'm trying to think about the different types of things that would be included in a community building. Like obviously you want a sink, right?
They had a fryer.
Oh, they had
you could make French fries in a fryer.
Right. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's not off grid.
No. Well, no, that's probably not off grid, but a lot of that stuff I can do with propane too. And so the question is, how much of that do we want in that building? Do you want a kitchen in it? Or do you just want a sink and a couple cabinets, something to wash dishes where you're toting everything in? And then like they had a bar that ran, a big long bar, and then a whole bunch of tables.
Like a bar, like what? Like for buffet line, or a bar like to sit down
like
and
a drinking
beer?
Bar. Yeah, like a drinking that type of bar. And then there was a whole bunch of tables, and there was a stage, and there was a whole bunch of stuff. And so I'm trying to figure out in my head, what if you were to
Did you get up and talk on the stage?
No, I actually didn't get on the stage at all, but they gave me a microphone, and then
They had a microphone?
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool, man. It was really, really cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Ghetto said Tag sticks coffee grounds under his lip while he waits for the coffee to be made.
It sucks on it.
Rickster, I see you.
Does anyone see me?
Yeah, we can see you. Big kid, the big part of it for us, so little sun that our batteries are old. You know what? Rain Country, you talk about your batteries being old. I want to get back to the building, but real quick, I have a pretty good connection on an American-made lithium battery company that I get some pretty good discounts on. If you're ever interested, let me know and I'll make a connection. And maybe that may help.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back to the community building. I would love to continue to hear your guys' ideas that
what to do.
Yeah, if you belonged in a community, what are some of the things you'd want in a community building? Obviously, big whiteboards, maybe, how do you do classes? What other uses would you do? A homeschool?
Well, classes, you would need multiple rooms, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Unless you do one class at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I'm trying to think about, okay, let's say we end up homeschooling there. Let's say we end up doing classes there. Let's say we end up just getting together to have a potluck. I want to make sure that I include all of these uses. Right? Because I'm only going to build it one time, right? I think to Richard's point, design your building so you can easily add on if needed. You will like a mini kitchen area too. Yeah, Rick says, okay, did you see my recipe post? I have not seen a single recipe post, Rickster, unless you guys are talking about somewhere over on freesteading that I'm not watching, which could be. Rick, no, in the past, do it, tag, send us a link, solar. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just write it down.
No, I'll just tell them. So I've got, look up Lion Energy. Okay. And just look through their systems and all of that stuff. I have a way to get it, all of that stuff wholesale. And so if you're interested, you can do that. Also, I also have a dealer's account at Alt-E. So ALT, like the Alt-E store. It's not as good. The discounts aren't as good, but it's still their wholesale numbers on anything they have. And they're an off-grid superstore. And so I can also make a contact. If there's anything there you guys want, Mr. Rain, I'll get you a contact to their head guy. And then you guys can talk and just make sure that if you do that, you make sure that they understand that you're buying it under my wholesale stuff. And
he said, just send us the battery instead. No, wait, just send us the batteries instead.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to do that, huh?
Actually, aren't you talking about changing our batteries out at some point in time to those?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to change mine out because mine are 2 years into a 10-year warranty.
I was going to say, I don't have any problem with ours.
Yeah.
But you were talking about how they were different. They're
the same thing. So I paid $25,000 for
one battery.
No,
25,000.
I paid $25,000 for 38 kilowatt hour of batteries.
38 kilowatt hours of batteries.
And so Lion Energy, because they're now producing it in the United States, the same kind of batteries. I mean, they've got that down to 15 grand. 12 grand
for the same 20
for the same gig.
Yeah.
And then from there, I have a wholesale account.
Can you stack those batteries on the Simplify?
I don't know. I just haven't had the need to go down the road. And this new thing that I have with them is brand new to me.
Yeah.
So
we have always done business with Alt-E.
Yeah. Yeah.
For all of our stuff came from them.
Johnny wants to know if the women need their own room in the community building.
Maybe.
You should. That was funny. Rain Country, I'm in the same boat. New batteries are a must, whether I can afford it or not. Yeah. And guys, I would offer you, any of my connections to.
Well, that's why we bought ours the way we did. Mm-hmm. We started with 2 batteries.
Yeah.
And then we bought a couple more. No, I think the second time we bought 4.
Yeah.
But we bought systems that we could stack on too, so that we could add as we could.
Yeah.
And then it's just progressed.
Yeah.
To be the co-op that it is.
Yeah. Simpler Time says a fish or deer cleaning station. Yeah, we don't need that because we have a processing kitchen. Simpler Times, we have a whole building that's nothing but a processing kitchen that can do all of that stuff. This is a place where the community will get together and,
do potlucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Click. But here's the thing, guys. I bought most of my stuff at the Alt-E store, but click on that Lion Energy link and check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. They are, I'm pretty interested in actually Red Poppy Ranch, who's a YouTube channel, large YouTube channel, just went to Lion Energy for all of their stuff too. Stainless, so cooking class could be done and school cooking classes. Yep. Love that. National Guard activated near debris field. Oh goodness.
In Montana?
Yeah. I need to look at all this stuff. I will here as soon as we hang up. Thank you, Big B. Thank you. That is how we started years ago. A few solar panels and batteries and then built on it. Yep. That's what we did too.
You have to. I mean, I don't know who can come up with 25 grand at one time.
Yeah. We just keep building on ours. But my batteries are way more expensive. If I could have built my system for $20,000 less money, if I had the contacts back then I have today.
Well, yeah.
And I spent $53,000 on our system
over
the period of time. Right. And so, so pretty cool. Do we have Rain Country's email? Can I contact them via email?
I have not. I've contacted her just through freesteading.
Okay.
But she gives her email address out because she says that that's the best way to contact her. I've seen lots of her. I've just never written it down because I contact her through freesteading.
Okay. Well, Rain Country, tag and B, or Big Kid also. Tag and the letter N B at lifedonefree.com. If you guys are interested in any of that stuff, let me know what you're interested in, and I'll get a contact made and get you guys wholesale deals on them. And at least that's something, right?
Well, every little bit helps
Yeah.
when you're trying to spread it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. That's what we did. We started out with golf cart batteries, lead acid. Yeah.
Mhm.
Time to upgrade to lithium ion. Yep. That's what
Mhm.
I have. And
We were going to do the lead acid, right?
Yeah, but
which is why we built on a different house.
Yeah. Originally we were going to, but after I did
Yes.
all my research, I'm like, wait a second.
Right.
This is just.
And I remember you going, these are way more money. What do we do? What do we do? And that's why we bought two. We bought 2 batteries.
Yeah. Yeah. Milk and Honey said, I've got to go. Thank you everyone for a great night. Yep. Thank you. And have a great night, Milk and Honey. Yeah. It's time for us to go too. It's 3 hours and 4 minutes. And at 3 hours and 6 minutes, Bethany's going to turn into a witch and fly away. So yeah. So anyway, I didn't get to everything, but that's okay. We'll continue to get to it. Any parting words for you, Pumpkin?
Eat your squash. No, spring is just around the corner. Start thinking about what you can do, getting things in order to start growing your food and trying to take care of some of your own needs, even if it's just a few items. 2 squash plants produced enough for us to last all year. Even if he does complain about it, I know he's not going to starve. So try to do just one step every day.
Yep.
And hopefully in a year's time, you will be farther ahead than you were the year before.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's good advice. And I think what I would tell you guys as we leave here tonight is, the world is crazy. I mean, we just had according to them, we just had a Chinese spy satellite fly completely across our country. Now there's things blowing up. There's something's going on with chicken food to stop chickens from laying. Our society is crumbling from a morals perspective. We have kids in classrooms using litter boxes. We have, arbitrary laws that are being made that completely, contradict the Constitution, and nobody does anything about it. We have so much chaos going on. Go take responsibility for yourself and for everything that happens to you. And guys, that doesn't mean you got to go and mortgage everything to death to do it all today. But what it means is go do something. Just do something, and get a hold of the UGS calculator, or build your own calculator that looks at everything you're tied to everything and how do you do it for yourself. And you got to go do this, guys, because I'm going to tell you, the day is going to come. Okay, where you're going to look back and say, man, I wish I would have.
Yeah.
I can't get this anymore.
Yeah.
Right? The supply chain. So what am I going to do? What's more important to you? Is Starbucks more important, or is, whatever? And so guys, go challenge it and, go try to break those chains. And that's what I'm going to fight every single day. This is why I go speak all over the country. This is why these things come up, is because I just believe in it so much that our world is weird. Right? Our world is weird. And guys, you can't buy it anymore. Nothing you're seeing on TV is real. Money isn't real. It's not even real, guys. It's not. Follow the track of a dollar, and you'll see that in 3 transactions, the federal government's gotten 100% of the money back. It's not real. You've just been convinced that if you're allowed to buy a new TV every other year, a new refrigerator every other year, or a new car every something, that everything's good. But guys, we're in trouble. And so go live freer today and did yesterday. Hold the line. Don't give an inch. I'm going to fight the fight every day, and I'm proud to be fighting it with you guys. So tag out. Be out.
Be out.
Good night, everybody.